Welcome to Atlanta. Crisis Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's gonna have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King has honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King YAHWH, we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. SHALAM.
Right back at you again, Officer I.S.U.P.K. Dropping something heavy for these cowards out here. Yeah. Coming straight from 125th, 1 West, Harlem, New York. Home of the truth, nigga. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? All day as we discuss how they don't like us. Gathered on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us, watch where you stepping. Cause a scene, you gon' see how brotherhood is a weapon. Tough skin protect our wrists, teach girls and kids the foulness. Call them prophetess, a priest damn near nothing without it. More than rubies, cute and understanding when describing. Virtue loving, no lip from the daughters of Zion. Gold teeth, earrings, chains, and the rings. Precious metals, fabrics, emphatic stones, and everything. Trying to catch the slang, rewind what we rap and slang. Lost in parables, the scripture breakdowns terrible. Yasha Allah, Prince of the power, we are the Jews. God on earth, you can see it by watching all our moves. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Whom Yasha? And all the warriors be like, Whom Yasha? and I can't let no hoe to lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening, is effective. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jacob. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't just do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots, you a bird feeder. Claiming he a demon, what's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him, this shit light. It ain't on who got this gun, it's on who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you won't never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathan to all the Akim, Yahweh Shema Them, Bahashem Yahshua to all the Agwathim. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. The truth is, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're not affiliated with any other Christian group or Hebrew Israelite group. You should sit it right here. Water. Yeah. What's that? We're not affiliated with associated or affiliated with any Hebrew Israelite group or Christian church. 1 West is home of the truth. The water. I appreciate it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 1 West is home of the truth is not under Commanding General YAHANNA is not the truth. What I need for you to do, can you sit right here, Baba Shaw, and check this brother right here. If give me some ones in the chats if the audio is perfectly clear. You know what I'm saying? The audio is clear. You can hand me two out, give me some ones, give me some 1 West. If it's not, give me a twos, give me some twos or whatnot. All right. I'm preaching officer of 1,000 Bakwashia. I'm just holding it down for Cap Mashak until he arrives. He's going to be arriving shortly. If you got any questions, right now, today is a Wednesday night scripture breakdown. If you got any questions on any scriptures or anything in general, go ahead and type it in the chat. But we also have the phone lines open as well. Phone lines is open. If you want to ask a question live, you can go ahead and ask a question. The phone line is 202-989-1950. call in. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear from anybody out there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hear from, we want to know what's going on in Rome. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear what's going on around the world? The planes dropping. We know what's going on. Northern driving brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Just give us a call. I'm too long. Yeah. Just give us a call. We're gonna make things all right. The word it was. I'm straight. Water. I appreciate it. There was a comment in class, not in class, but online. I heard somebody say, "Why is the title Latinos versus Blacks?" Yeah, that's what you know. That's what they want to know. Let me know if Officer Kazak is online. Bobby Shaw. Trinidad is. Sly, Officer Swap, if you want to take over the class until Captain Shaka, gets by, that's.
Shall I say from me? Hear me clear?
Sir, I can hear you, sir.
All right, the audio was coming in a bit bad. So let's double check the audio, Baba Kusha.
Khan, Shapat, you know what I just told you? Matter of fact, yeah. Give me the receiver, Baba Kusha. Yeah. And then one of the mics. Boom. All right, just bear with me 1 second. And we're gonna get this audio set up. They said sound bad now. Like we underwater. Yeah, if you could turn on. Hey, Shapat, real quick. You saw what I did before to unpair it? Just unpair it. Do it on both of them.
Yeah, Salakia and Bakwash.
Khan, sir.
Yeah, your song a little more to wab now, so you can go ahead and rock it out, right?
Okay, that's it. Most High in Christ. Okay, we good to go. Pair it back up. Yeah. Just let me know when you're ready. All right. We getting it together. Most High in Christ. We getting it together. What's that? All right. Most High in Christ. Once again, Officer Swap, if you wanted to take over. If not, I can keep on going, sir.
Yeah, Salakia, you hear me?
Khan, so I can hear you.
Right. Your song into wab, right? So you could go ahead and rock it out. Right?
Khan, sir. Khan. Real quick, Shapat, you got Ragash's number? All right, Salakia, I'm just gonna send this over. All right, no sweat. Salakia, just bear with me 1 second. If anybody has any questions, comments or concerns, go ahead to type it in the chat, and we're gonna get to it. Again, I'm holding it down for Priest and Captain Mashak Mayam. He's gonna be here momentarily. All right, and then we're gonna rock and roll. But there was a question that says, why is the title called Latinos versus Blacks? When really, I believe it was Jonathan Lopez Sanchez said, "Who do you mean Latinos versus Africans?" Latinos versus Africans. Okay, that's what the title says? That was the question. So I guess thanks for that. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's get some clarification. If you could just type in, give me some clarification on what you mean by
Bakwash.
What kind of sir?
The audio it started to come back in a little choppy now. I know if it's something too close to the mic or
yeah, it might be mine. I just sent something out. Look, is it Tawab now?
La.
All right. Let's do this one more time. Yeah. All right. It's off. All right. Plug this in. And then we're gonna switch it over. Just take that out. And then switch it out. Just bear with me 1 second, and we're gonna get into it. But as we get into it, as we get into it, just to say, you know, blacks, Hispanic Americans are nowhere close to having with Africans. You know what I'm saying? We are not Africans. We are not Hamites. Those people are the line of Hamitic. We are the descendants of Semites. Those are Hamites. Those are a whole nother group of people. You know, whole nother ethnicity, a whole different set of people. Just because they have dark skin, you know, they're melanated. They are not like us. You understand? And with that, I pass it. I pass the class.
These strange over here.
Pass the captain.
Tom. What's going on? I am now. We have a bone to pick with you. Listen, we gotta take you all the way to council. All the way. I talk to the officer. It's like this ain't gonna happen. Yeah, man. Who is this?
Oh, it's last.
I know, sir. Do you need it up here?
Last.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
That's a water too.
No question.
What's up? Oh shit, what's that? I don't know what it is. What's that? Some wine. Oh, some wine. I see all your young man here. That's what everybody.
Oh, my bad.
What's that?
It's bourbon.
Listen, man, it's strong. It's strong, so it can't be wrong. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, Chris. You could break it down if you want to, all right? Hey, Salaki, gosh, could I get a little more length on this? Is it possible? It looked like it hooked up somewhere. Is it really this short? Okay, you probably need an extension, all right? And what about this one? This is up here for some reason. It's not working?
Some reason goes in and out.
It could be because it's so the cord is so taut. You can't, when you hook it up electronics, you can't keep no tension on it. That should have a hang. Right? What about now? You could hear now? Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, switch it back to this. All right, even if you need to disconnect it or what? Because now we'll be down on mic, right? All right. Go ahead and break it down now. You ain't got to wait. You can take it to the head. Yeah. We ain't got no cups. Y'all have to come in here and like to act brand new and shit. Like, yeah, man. Oh, we so dignified. Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, 1 inch from the mouth. But I should have rolled on your bed and shit go in your air. You could use one of these here, bro. You could watch one of these here if you want to. If they know the plastic Jones, all right? Hell yeah. Whoever won. No, sir. Big one. No, sir. All right, no, sir, please. You'll get down. 1 2 1 2. Anything? 1 2 1 2. You can hear? Who's online?
So like I say, me?
I could hear you. I could hear you. Could you hear? Could you hear me?
I can't say, but your audio coming in a little ruffle now.
Okay, hold on.
Nothing. I need you now.
How about now?
Your song and a little rougher still.
It's something that's different because I ain't seen these two lights on last week. All right, hold on. How about now? Nothing. Yeah, because something set up different this time. I don't remember seeing these lights on last week. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. How is sound now?
It's song and terrible, sir.
Choice. All right, something's wrong. This. Okay, no sweat. 1 2 1 2. Anything?
Your song and better now.
You too, Bob, sir.
All right, how is it now? 1 2 1 2.
You too up on this end, sir.
Is it very clear?
Yeah, you too up on this end, sir.
It don't sound like you got a mic plugged in at all, sir.
Okay, hold on now. 1 2 1 2.
No, ain't no. It's like there's no mic plugged up.
1 2 1 2. What about now?
You too, Bob, sir.
There we go.
Sound cancer.
All right, what we changed because
When you unplugged it switched to the computer. I had to switch it back.
okay, so it's good now. All right, so I turn it back on the other one. Shepard, let me get a test over there. Don't stand near to me. Just test it over there. Let's see what's going on. All right. Just give me a 1 2 right there. You all could hear Shepard?
Nah, sir.
What's up,
Nah,
man?
sir.
Because what's going on with her?
Shalom. Lord Christ, shalom.
What's the main receiver connected to?
Shalom, Lord Christ.
The
Shalom.
receiver is connected right here.
Yeah, it should be, right? So
This one is connected to the receiver. That one's connected
Shalom, Lord Christ.
to the mixer.
hey, that's not how you set it up, though. That's not how you set it up. Just set up them two. We'll rock with this for now. All right? Something's different. Is something different or no?
They're saying it's good.
Okay, I need to hear you all say it. The brothers online, I need to hear you all. Could you all unmute your mics and give me a verbal feedback?
Can't say song and Tawab.
You too, Bob, now, sir.
Could you all hear Shepard?
Shalom, Lord
No,
Christ.
lie,
Shalom,
sir.
Lord Christ.
Last.
La.
Okay, that's what I want to know. All right. So this is what we do. Disconnect this.
That static is back, Cap. I don't know what just happened. That static is back.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just kill the whole thing. So just kill the whole mixer. Just connect them two wireless mics up to the computer and let's rock. All right. Let me get one of them. Just unplug it, all right? Because you shut everything now, man. Where we are. All right. We got to get to the bottom of this one, all right? I don't like how this man is working right now. All right, let me know once we connect it on the computer. Please.
Welcome to Atlanta. Christ, this Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's gonna have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King have honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. And no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man, it is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shalom.
Testing 1 2 1 2. How a sound now?
You're to WAP, sir.
Con.
Is it coming through strong?
Con, sir.
Yup, it's to WAP.
Now, cancer.
All right, Musa in Christ. Puerto Rico. All right, questions. You all know tonight scripture breakdown plus and the law class in DC in 1. You all could get any questions answered you all want, and especially pertaining to the law. Any questions online or in the room, I'll take it. Tonight, the topic is they're not like us. Latinos versus Africans. What say ye? All right. Any questions in class, just raise your hand. Anybody online? Because you got to give my readout.
Jonathan Lopez Sanchez says, what do you mean Latinos versus Africans?
Okay, that's good. What's his name again?
Jonathan Lopez Sanchez.
Jonathan Lopez Sanchez. If you could just tell me what city you're calling from or texting in from. We also have a number, right? Say the number again.
202 989 1950.
202 989
1950.
1950. If you're able to call in, you'll be better. You'll better be able to articulate your question. All right. What do I mean by Latinos versus Africans? Meaning this. We are Israelites. We're the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The so-called Negro, West Indian, Haitian, Latino tribes, Native, and First People. We're the 12 tribes of Israel. And there are a lot of people who do not agree that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, namely the so-called white man who is the devil the Bible speaks of, right? Second on that list, you have members of the Negroes, West Indians, who do not believe so-called Latinos are the 12 tribes of Israel, and they very much are the 12 tribes of Israel. You have Negroes and West Indians who believe that Africans are more us, or closer to us in relation than the Latinos. So the topic tonight is to prove. I'm gonna just let you know what it is. And you can choose if you're going to stay on or not. But after tonight, it's going to be very clear to you that the so-called Latino tribes and the Native and of First Peoples of the Americas, meaning people who you would call Boricua or Arawak or Carib or Mayan or Inca, are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is not including those from Alaska who you call, I think, Inuits. I think that's what they call them. The Inuits or the Samoan or Japhetic people, right? It's not including them. They are a separate type of people. But this is proving that the Mexicans are Israelites. The El Salvadorians are Israelites. The Guatemalans are Israelites. The Seminole Indians are Israelites. The Cherokee, the Blackfoot, the Sioux, the Chickasaw, they're all Israelites. Those tribes up in the Midwest and Oklahoma and Dakota and Wyoming, Seattle, all those people, those native people in those territories, and some in Canada, because some fled to Canada with Andrew Jackson, and then when they was taking the land, those people are Israelites. This is proving that, and that Africans are not Israelites. They're not our people. They're not our friends. They're not our family, as a nation. I'm not talking about your individual relationship with some Hamite you might have went to school with, or some Edomite who you met at your slavery. I'm talking about as a people. We are not them, they are not us. That's what I mean. All right. Did he reply where he's from?
No, sir.
All right. What's his name again? Jonathan what?
His name is Jonathan Lopez Sanchez.
Jonathan Lopez Sanchez. You trying to make it clear to me that you a tribe. You ain't leaving nothing. You ain't leaving nothing to chance. Hey, you got 3 names. One for every doubt. All right. So with that, any other questions?
What kind?
Come on.
Preaching Officer Ward says, Salaki, sir, why do people say Paul never physically met Christ?
Because, okay, I think, I'm not sure why they say it. I can't say why. I can't say, I can't say why. I can only assume what they're talking about, but I can't say why they say it. I'm not saying they're correct, but Paul was not a contemporary of Christ, meaning he wasn't one of the disciples. Paul met Christ after Christ got crucified, rose from the dead, and ascended. You get the point? The Lord visited Paul, right? Like he's visiting the house of the thief right now. He's visiting the house of the thief. I'm low key thinking these plane crashes is the new COVID. You see, I remember everybody was getting COVID. Round about this time, we heading into March. I think that's the new plague on the earth. Planes going to be down. Go ahead, Yadiana.
Like, sir, I was saying something online about in Alaska, right? And they freaking out in Alaska. They have no snow.
They have little snow compared to what they usually have.
Cause so like what came through was like rain, and it's basically all the snow is gone, except for the piles that are pushed up, to clean the streets. And it's like the mountaintop barely got caps.
The weather is warmer there. It's like 40-some degrees.
Awesome.
Or sometimes like high 40s. And it needs to be colder to maintain the snow. And what's going on now, especially in America, I would say, I'm not too sure about how Europe is facing. I think Europe too, certain parts of Europe is, warmer than usual. But now the northern part of America is more warm than the southern part, right? And the scripture said the turning of things upside down, and that's damn near what's going on, where even tonight they have a winter advisory. But I think this area is scheduled to get less than an inch. They're talking about half an inch of snow, which is nothing. But you drive 45 minutes south and you're still in Virginia, you're down near Northern Virginia, and you got snow on the ground. The cars are spinning. You get the point? So, and they're saying what? Texas, Florida, not Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, Oklahoma, them areas that would not normally get it is due to get a ton of snow. You know what I mean? I think state of emergency in North Carolina and them type of places. So, you're going to see some, not normal things. I don't want to say strange, but you're going to see some not normal things occurring, in the future, the very near future. As time goes on, they're going to be less normal and even less normal. Go ahead, because I'm going to come to
I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. It's funny you said that. It got to be in the spirit, because today I was just thinking, when I was watching the video of that plane crash, the Delta crash, and I said, what if it come out later? Like once we in the kingdom, when we read the records about how we read now about how the Lord plagued Egypt. I was like, what if it come out later that this was one of the plagues to America, where it's like because we don't, because it's technology, a lot of people wouldn't think that it could be a plague to destroy something that America honors as one of its gods, which is technology. And so
exactly.
So it could be like you said. I literally said that today. Like I wouldn't be surprised if these planes is a plague from the Lord,
brother. I think the remember the night we did the show, the first Wednesday show, they had that plane crash in DC, and like 2 days later there was another one. And I said, them pilots could be seeing something in the sky that we just don't know about. They're dead. They can't tell you what the hell they're seeing. But it could be the Lord is just blinding the hell out of them or showing them something. And they see, because the one from DC, the air traffic control video, the tower saying, you see the plane right there. The helicopter pilot say, yeah, I see the plane. 10 seconds later, boom.
Right.
Not even 10. So I don't know what the hell he's seeing, but planes is down. The NASDAQ is down. prime is down. The planes is down. Go ahead.
And you know, off of that same thing, even down here and all, it had a similar incident just before the crash in DC now, where a plane was coming from Tobago, and you know that it had some issues now, and they said that how with the fuel, they didn't know how the fuel was checked, but it had an issue when landed. I think it had 2 similar incidents. I see when that happened, and you know, all of this happening, you know, it could be, yes, like,
It definitely could be. You never know, and we'll find out later. We'll find out later if this is, you know, this is the Trump effect, if it's the Lord working through the Trump effect, or if this is the Lord just plaguing the oppressor with his flight. You get the point? Because his flight is his might. Remember, Obadiah said, "When thou make thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down." Meaning, once you reach your highest level of that flight, once you go out of your earth to do this thing, I'm going to start bringing you down. You get the point? Like, his flight is what gives him authority over the earth. You get it? Revelation say what? He was once that old serpent who is now the dragon. His ability to fly is what gives this devil might. His ability to rule the seas is what gives him might. So as he's saying, Kazak, it could be a plague. This is the plagues of Egypt. The plagues of America. Bring him, come. I'm gonna come to you, Bakwash. Go ahead, Shapar.
Shalak, sir, if I could, I can't paraphrase it to find it, but I believe it's a scripture. What is the scripture where it says the Lord holds everything in place? Like he holds the water where it's at, and he holds the wind from doing whatever, but at any time the Lord could just let it go.
Yeah, I think that's in Job, where it says he dictates where the sea, on the beach, you know, the water comes up a certain distance on the sand. The scripture say the Lord says where to stop. Like we think it's just, you know, like you spill water on the ground, it's gonna go where it go. Imagine having the power to say it'll touch that tile, not over there, over water that's spilling, which is what the sea is to the Lord. The sea is just water that could spill anywhere. To us, it's the sea, you better respect it. But to him, just spill over on that island and drown it. You know, slap the water, make a big tsunami and drown everybody in Papua New Guinea, which happened a few years ago, like 10 years ago. They had a giant tsunami and just took everybody. You get the point? Like the scriptures say, he controls everything, even where the water stops on the land. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you never know. This is one thing I would tell you. The next 4 years under Satan, aka Donald Trump, you'll figure out which God you're serving. If you don't know now, you'll know soon enough. You best believe. All right, come on, Bakwash. Yes, something.
Come on. If this is, you know, the plagues that lifts us, you know, takes us out. How long was, you know, because I'm trying to get time frame slacking, but how long was the plagues in Egypt? Like the span from
it was a few years, I believe. I forget exactly how much. It wasn't like a short time. It wasn't like, you know, he come this day, then next week. I think it was a few years, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody know, because if you remember, let me know. I do believe it's a few years that it happened over the span of. It wasn't like a, you know, 1 year. But even if it was a few years, don't even think that that's how it's going to be now. You get the point? Shit, the Lord, by June, this shit could be done. Why do you think he firing everybody? You know what I mean? It's like Ariel make a post like, what y'all gonna do when that tax return don't hit? I'm gonna walk the Passover. That's what I'm gonna do. If March come and I ain't see that thing hit the bank, I'm gonna say, Bakwash, hold on the class. I'm making it down to Atlanta on foot. Go ahead.
Salaki, I'm just waiting for Officer Yakazar to come past and just join the walk. You know what I mean?
Listen, something got to happen. You know what I mean? So, any more question?
There's a comment, Miss from Salali Holloman says, brothers, I believe also that it is not good to call our Elohim by the title Lord. It means Baal.
Well, that's not true. And, you know, you could believe what you want. All right, this is the wrong class to tell me your beliefs. I'm going to tell you something, because I believe I rule this whole class. You know, Commander Yohanna gave me the authority, and you're incorrect. Let me try to be professional. You're incorrect in what you believe and how we speak. All right, you're just incorrect about it, and that's that. The Lord's name is not Lord. We refer to him as the Lord. It's a term like saying the boss man or the big man or the master or the master. Lord literally means master. And we refer to him as that because you don't use his name loosely. Yeah, and when it's to take not the Lord's name in vain, it means you don't use it loosely. It's like a child calling the parent, Jack instead of daddy. In the black home, hey Carol, I'm your mother. Who's Carol? That type of shit. It's like that. It's respect. So what you saying is incorrect. What's more important than the Elohim and than the Lord is, are you paying tithes? That's more important. Are you paying tithes to Commanding General YAHANNA? Are you cutting off 10% of your hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears and sending it into the priest of the Lord? You believe I shouldn't say Elohim. I believe you should pay tithes. You give me your answer. I've given you mine. Let me know when Sally typed back.
Type back, sir.
He or she typed back?
So they typed back.
They typed back. Bakwash giving them pronouns, and I'm disrespectful. Bakwash giving up pronouns. Go ahead.
The last one he says, Adoni means master, brother. He's our Adoni.
Adoni is Jewish Yiddish bullshit. The word is Adawan. The word is Adawan, not Adoni. You're listening to the small hats, man. You listen the same language you speaking. They're what they call the thing. They're Moil, who is the circumcision pundit or the circumcision priest, sucks the rod of a little baby penis after they do the circumcision. You want to use your mouth in that way? Don't tell me nothing about no Adoni. You're simple, man. You're simple. Are you paying tithes? Because you're wasting my time. You're paying tithes, yes or no? I just need to know. You see? I'll take it as a no. Just move on. Don't take no more questions from him now. He has to pay attention. He has to pay for the attention. He ain't paying for it. I'm not giving him none. All right. Any more questions?
Khan. Kapab Banath Yahweh says, "Like, sir, if I may, is it Colossians 1:16 through 17?"
Let me hear it. Also, too, Bakwash, let's keep his comments about the Adoni, because it just so happened that's part of my proof of the Latinos and the Native Indians being Israel. We're gonna go into some artifacts tonight, and we'll see what the so-called scholars, the European scholars, got to say about Adoni and Yehudi and Elohim. It's a dumbass. I think you had to get a little cue on the mixer. Like when you push the button, you hear the turn. They're not like us. Every time we cut one of them, you had to push the damn button because they're simple. What do you have?
I have the scripture, Colossians 1:16 through 17.
Colossians.
Mm-hmm. It's Colossians 1, verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. Verse 17. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
No, that's not it. This one literally talks about the water coming up on the earth. Go ahead.
I believe it's Proverbs 8 and 29.
Let me hear you. Go ahead and read it. So,
Can. Yes, sir. Right. The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 29. When he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth.
That's it. Imagine. Okay, read it again from the top.
Can. The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 29.
Right, Proverbs 8 and 29. Give me a little right up there. Go ahead.
Can. When he gave to the sea his decree.
When he gave to the sea his decree. What does that mean? When he gave to the sea his decree. What does that mean? Anybody? Shapat?
Slocky decree is it's order.
It's an order.
God.
He's talking to the water. He gives the waters an order. What's the order? Keep reading, so up.
That the waters should not pass his commandment.
Meaning, you stop here. Don't go beyond this point. Even the waters respect the orders of the Lord. The water, that's ridiculous power. That's a tremendous amount of power and order to have. Go ahead.
When he appointed the foundations of the earth.
When he appointed the foundations of the earth, meaning when he set everything in order, he told the waters how far they could go. You understand? So when the white man talk about global warming and this and that, all the ice could melt and the Lord could still say the water still can't go further. They might rise, but they ain't gonna come up on the land. He could do it if he wants. Or he could just flood the place and the ice cap still be there. You get the point? Like, this is about respecting the Lord's power. So, you know, back to what you were saying about the planes, this very well could be a plague. It very well could be that. You know what I mean? Anything else? If there's any questions in the room too, you'll get them in now, all right?
That's it, but you...
No, sorry.
I don't know if you want me to...
oh, Elohim is back?
Yeah.
He paying tithes?
No.
Yeah, well, shut him out then. Shut him out. Questions is for people who pay tithes, nigga. You know what I mean? What the hell are you talking about? Questions is for people who pay tithes. You are the legal immigrants in this class. That's nice to get you. Questions is for people who pay tithes. You ain't paying no tithes. Shut him off, man. Goddamn, Bukwash is like, Bukwash set it up. All right. All right. So if no questions, I'm going to get right into the topic. All right. If anybody had anything. Shapa, when you get a chance, let me get a second bottle of water. All right. So, boom. We have Africans versus Latinos. Who is really not like us, right? The they that's not like us are the Africans who are the so-called Africans who you call Ham or Hamites, all right? So what? Let me get Bible dictionary. Anybody have a Bible dictionary? Let's go. Let me get Ham in the Bible dictionary. All right, let's get Ham in the Bible dictionary. And then we're going to go into some more. I need the Apocrypha too, so you'll keep Apocrypha on deck. Okay. You got it, Shapad? If you need me to find for you, I'll find it for you, all right? All right. You pass the mic to the brother too, all right? Take your time. Take your time. No sweat, mine too. You're working. Them books is working. All right.
Ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
All right, you get to the young brother to read, all right? You've never seen this book before? All right, this is the Bible Dictionary, right? This is the Compact Bible Dictionary. And then the mic too, brother. He's going to read it. All right? It's the Compact Bible Dictionary. This is a book that we use that gives definitions and context and meanings to certain words in the Bible. Not every single thing in there is accurate. But of course, some of it is. Like most of the resources we use, you know, they're not 100% accurate, but they have good information in there that it pairs with what's in here. Okay. All right. So look for Ham. You see Ham in there?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and read it. All right.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Right. So Ham is the youngest son of Noah. Everybody know who Noah is. The Lord told Noah build that ark. He was going to flood the earth. He's going to punish everybody, drown everybody down. Ham is the youngest son of Noah. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Ham is the youngest one. At the time of the flood, he was about 96 years old because it says there he was born 96 years before the flood. All right, go ahead.
No, I just had to Bible Dictionary.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
All right, he's one of 8 persons to live through the flood. How was it 8? Young brother.
Noah and his wife and his 3 kids. Well, 3 sons.
And
their wives.
And their wives. That's 8 people. Those 8 people lived through the flood of the earth. And all civilization restarted with that family. All right, go ahead.
He became the progenitor of the dark race.
Right? He became the progenitor of the dark races. Right? What does progenitor mean? Same, brother.
The start.
Father of. All right, or the starting point. Progenitor is like you, the man who started it. He's the father of the dark races. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. That's very important because the Negroes are who? The so-called black man in America, black man in the West Indian Islands, and I'm telling you, also the Latinos. Negro is a Latin word. Negro means black, right? He's not the father of the Negroes, but he is the father of, go ahead.
But the Egyptians.
The Egyptians who are Africans, go ahead.
Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians who are also Africans. I think that with Salih, whatever. No, the one who don't pay no tithes. What's his name? Sally something. Sally Lou. Sally Lou is a half African. I'm telling you straight up and down. That's why he's mad. He's mad because it's African. He's African, or he in love with some African, so he mad about some shit. I want us to speak some old Yiddish, nasty, yucky language. Elohim and Adoni, and Adawan is much stronger. Sis, you could imagine you have to say Adoni to your husband. It's just sound, hey, Adoni. It just sounds so gay. But when she say Adawan, he responds like Superman. Adawan just has more power to it. You could be Adoni if you want to. Some men are just whatever. You get the point. You could be Adoni if you want to. All right, go ahead.
Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians who are also Africans. Go ahead.
Libyans
who are also Africans. That's the North Africans. The who's the first one? Egyptians are the that's East Africa. They're in the Hebrew is Matazarium, when you see in the Bible also Mitzrayim, right? Or Matazarium. That's the actual Hebrew for it. The Mitzrayim is like a bastardization, like Adoni. Ethiopians is Cush or Kowash in the Bible. Libyans is the North Africans or Put or Powat in the Bible. Go ahead.
And Canaanites.
And the Canaanites who are today the South Africans, right? Who is Canaan in the Bible, right? So those are the Africans. They are not us. We are not them. We are absolutely not the same. Who has Babylon to Timbuktu? All right, hold on. Shit. I should have mine. Unless I lent it to one of y'all and y'all did not return. You think you did? Nah. Listen, I put a homing beacon on these books. Y'all ain't gonna fleece me. I passed the book out. Somebody is like, yes, sir, I could just borrow the book. And the book a year from now, I can't find it. All right. Give me verse page 84. All right, careful with it. That page already starting to come out. Go ahead. I gotta get the mic. You can read it, all right?
Right here.
Go ahead.
Page 84.
Right, this is from Babylon to Timbuktu, written by Rudolph R. Windsor. Once again, this brother was is a brother. He's a historian. I believe he's a professor, PhD professor that taught in Temple University and a few others. Right? He wrote this book, From Babylon to Timbuktu, about the dark races, including the Jews. Again, not every single thing in this book is accurate. A lot of it is. A lot of it is accurate. And this is one part of it here that he's going to tell you about the Jews. All right, go ahead.
From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
Right, in 65 BC, which is 65 years prior to Christ. All right, the Roman armies captured Jerusalem under who? Vespasian?
Sir, General Pompey.
General Pompey, right? Captured Jerusalem. Go ahead.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Right, so in 70 AD, which is 70 years after Christ. All right, so now, which means that Roman army had Jerusalem or Israel in a state of what you would call today occupation. That's the word for it now. Like you have right now that conflict with Gaza and Hamas and Israel, the state of Israel, you would say that the Palestinians are under Israeli occupation. If he running his mouth and taking up the chat, just block him, just block him. Just you could kick him out the chat. You know, we have that right in here. You get the point. We ain't had to suffer nobody and kick him out the chat. You can't go in Princeton and Yale and tell some teacher some shit. They'll kick you out the campus. You know what I mean? I want the same respect. God damn it. Go ahead.
With great slaughter.
Read the part again with Vespasian.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter.
Right, General Vespasian and his son Titus, they led armies into the Jewish state, right, and put an end to us with great slaughter. This is in line with in Daniel when it talks about the desolation of abomination or the desolation abomination, and when Christ spoke about it as well and said, "Run to the hills." This is that desolation abomination is specifically that thing. All right, go ahead. When it said, "When you see the desolation of abomination, stand," that's what it says in that's what Christ said. A lot of people think it means a person because of the word stand, but that's not what it means. It means like how somebody would say, "I ain't standing for that," meaning this desolation that happened, this particular event, nobody stood up against it, so it stood, it stand. It made a stand in there, and that's when they took over our temple, sacrificed pig on the altar, ran us out. There was no Maccabees at that point. The Maccabees done gone. At this time, they had to leave. That's what Christ said. When you see the desolation of abomination, stand. In prior to that, in the Apocrypha with the Maccabees, there was a desolation of abomination. When that king, the Greek king, sent his man to make Mattathias sacrifice on the altar. Remember that? Sacrifice the pig on the altar. They did it, but it didn't stand because Mattathias killed him and led a rebellion. You get the point? It didn't stand. It didn't get to erect itself and, build up. But this one here, that was it. This one stood. All right, go ahead.
During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over...
And when I say the residue of the people, what is that talking about? Come on.
The rest of the people who are left.
You're right, but I say it a different way.
The survivors of it.
Christ said, when the desolation of... You might have to get the scripture. Pull it for me. Somebody pull it for me. Go ahead.
The people who stayed.
You're right, but you ain't saying it right. Right, Matthew 12 and 25. Or 24 and 15. That's what I want. You can pass the mic to you'll get it back, all right?
I got the scriptures.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 15.
1 second, brother. Say again, up.
Salaki, sir. I was telling you
that
the
young brother grab it. I'll let you grab the next one, all right?
Sir.
All right, no sweat. So what? Go ahead.
Matthew 24, 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Right. That's it. That's all you need. You could read on the rest for yourself. But the way it's written, you would think it's a person. When you see the desolation of abomination spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. You thinking there's a man coming in there who's called abomination and desolation. And he come in the temple and he say, here I am. Then I guess then you're supposed to say, Elohim, Adoni, help me. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about like this thing happened and nobody did anything about it. This atrocity happened, and it stood in this place. Nobody stood for it. You get the point? Even amongst us, even in here, for you to even be accepted in here in certain councils and certain official meetings in here, brothers have to stand for you, meaning brothers will have to vouch for you. So this abomination happened, and it stood. Who did it? They stood up in there, and Israel did nothing about it. Israel could do nothing about it because we were under Roman occupation, military occupation for over 100 years. Remember, 65 BC is when Pompey took it over. 70 AD is when Vespasian did it. Get the point? That's over 100 years. Go ahead.
So, Salaki, is it counted against you, your reputation, if let's just say that brother that you stood for to get in the council ends up dropping his sword or doing something?
What do you think? I'm gonna let you answer that. What? You ain't gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna let you answer that. What do you think?
I think they asked who stood for him.
I think I don't stand for nobody. Just put your name on a piece of paper. That's it. Hey, yeah, they have this brother here. Well, who will stand for him? What? Yeah. Say what? It's exactly that. It's this here is we a family, and this is very much who you know, and more so who knows you. This is very much that. This is what we need as a people to circumvent or to stand up or to stand against the oppression of the white man, where in his kingdom it's all about connections. It's all about it. What the hell does Elon Musk know about politics? Nothing. He knows Donald Trump. That's how he has all this power. So don't tell me nothing about, friends and nepotism and all that type of shit. You all be complaining about the wrong thing. Not you all in here, but you all in the world. You all rallying. I watched a video. Somebody see if they could find it. Mathia, you online? Let Mathia grab it. Mathia, you there?
No, I can't, sir.
Here's a video. I'm not sure if I sent it to you about these Democratic senators that marched behind, the lazy ass behind, down to the Department of Education in DC. And they was going there to, I guess, tell the new administration, give them a piece of their mind. And one little skinny white man walked out with a little, the Secret Service thing in his ear. And he stood in front and said, yeah, you can't come in. And they was like, what? Why we can't come in? We pay your salary. We pay you. Our taxpayers give you money. And he's like, listen, you all ain't coming in. And he said, quite frankly, I feel threatened. They said, what? How did we threaten you? And he said, well, listen, you all ain't coming in. How did that even happen? They get together to try to fight against that when they should have been building something that could fight against Trump. That's what they should have been building. Could fight against the devil. But they'll all look at us and say, we are cult and we reckless and we too militant and we too extreme. I bet you need some reckless, extreme ass niggas now to fight that bullshit that's going on, right? Yeah, don't come. Unless you're paying some tax. Be partial to that 10%. That 10% might get you in the door. Like a bounce out of club. Yeah, give me some money till you skip the line. All right. Where we at? So that's the abomination and desolation. All right. Go ahead.
Carson. Stop that.
Let
me stop. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
During the period of what?
Pompey to Julius. It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
Right, over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Right, they would say there was great atrocities that was done to the residue of the people. The residue is the people who did not listen to Christ. That's how you want to put it. Not the people who stayed, not the people who remained. That makes it seem like, well, they just stayed. It's a natural thing. You have to now, if the water follows orders, what the hell make you think you ain't supposed to? You should now yield yourself to men who are better than you, that know more than you, that care for your life more than you care for your own. And just follow orders. It's like them people who in the South, when the hurricanes came, they declare a state of emergency. They said evacuate. These devils said what? I'm staying. The Lord won't be with me. Them fools in California, I'm staying for this little fire now. You and your dog videotaping the fire, knocking on the door. You're gonna have to learn to listen. It happened with Maccabees. Maccabees said, who is zealous for the law, follow me to the mountains. Some went with him, some said, we're gonna keep the Sabbath and stay. Because the Sabbath day is holy and God gonna be with us, and they're dead. You get the point? Christ said, flee to the mountains. That's what he told them in the New Testament in Matthew. Some didn't listen. And they suffered horrible atrocities under the Romans. I ain't got to tell you about the Romans. You know, they get done. All they filthy, disgusting, and sexual deviants. They said it's estimated over 1 million Jews fled into, read it again. It is estimated.
It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, because the Romans would turn us into slaves. That was their way of integrating us into their society. Integration in ancient time was slavery. You part of the empire now. You part of it, that's just it. It's not like now, but you're still in slavery. You're just not branded and put in a damn barn. So now why did 1 million Jews flee into Africa? Did it say flee to their brothers who are Africans? Did it say flee into the continent of their relatives? No, it said fled into Africa. We are not Africans. We are not the same. If we were the same, it would say Africans fled into Africa. If we were the same, it would say Africans fled to the land of their people, their kinsmen who were Africans in Africa. It said 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Jews are not African. Now, why did the Jews flee into Africa? If the Jews were white people, shouldn't they flee into Russia or, Spain, right? Why did the Jews flee into Africa? Go ahead.
Because they're dark too. They're dark people too. We can hide there.
They're dark-skinned people. Just like in Ham, it said Ham is the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes, because the Negroes are also dark-skinned people, colored people. They're not white. And you could confuse them with Hamites, but they're not Hamites. And that's why the Jews fled into Africa to hide, because the white man think everybody look the same. You see that coily hair and that dark skin, he think you just an African. And you can now be able to hide amongst the Africans, even though you're a Jew. Go ahead.
It's like, it's so heavy when you say it, made me think a whole different way than I've been hearing it all the time. But when the angel told Joseph to take Christ and Mary and flee into Ethiopia, we teaching here that the Ethiopians are now the Sudanese who are darker people.
They're not Sudanese. The people of South Sudan, one of the tribes in South Sudan, not the whole of Sudan. But go ahead.
That they look. They're darker.
No, Salaki, that's the Egyptians.
Oh, Egyptians.
The ancient Egyptians. One of them South Sudan tribes, I think, is the Maasai. The tall ones who be jumping up and doing this thing here and stretch the neck. them man. Remember Manu Bol? Remember Manu Bol? You know who Manu Bol is? He used to play for Bullets.
Manu Bol.
Yeah, his son is trash.
Manu Bol, yeah.
No, is his son trash? I don't know.
He was trash, sir.
He looked like that damn tripod. He looked like that. Put a basketball jersey and that black tripod. That's Manu Bol. That's the Egyptian. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said the Ethiopian said the Egyptian, but we teaching here that the Egyptians are now those darker people, saying with more woolly hair. Whereas if that was if the Egyptians today were those people back then Christ wouldn't really be able to hide there because they were Judites.
Okay, exactly. He went into a land that was more darker people. You get the point? Fleeing from Herod. It's kind of the same thing. That's the point you're making?
Yeah, but I'm just noticing that is, it makes sense that the Egyptians are there today are not the original Egyptians, because Christ going there, he wouldn't look like them.
All right, the Egyptians today look more white. Because they really the Greek babies and the European babies that went in there after Alexander. So you're absolutely right. Right? Go ahead. Any more?
Well, it was a little bit left on that.
Come on.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish or black Jew slaves. We were the slaves. we were originally the slaves of, of the earth. We the slaves of the earth. That's really it. And the slavery, the transatlantic slave trade that was established on the shores of Africa, sold the descendants of those 1 million black Jew slaves who fled into Africa. We are not African. Africans are not us. We are not related to them. It don't matter how much you like it or not. You could love them Africans. I don't care. You'll kiss them in the mouth like that Bailey girl, the Little Mermaid girl. You could go kiss Burna Boy in the mouth and hard on his leg if you want to, but that is a gorilla. Let me stop because I'm gonna get flagged. I know they're gonna say you're racist. That is a heathen. That's not the Lord's chosen people. We get flagged?
No, I put a Bobo.
Oh, so that's the son of Manute Bol. I believe those are the southern Sudanese people who really would be the original people from Egypt, not the modern day Egyptians. Even today, the modern day Egyptians don't like the depiction of them being black. In the Eastern Arab world, they don't like the whole black thing. The whole black is like to them like a taboo or something evil. You know what I mean? Notice they always dress in white. They don't really, you've never seen them in the like black man dress. You would see the brothers here. They might wear a black or a darker color. But if you notice them Arabs, they don't even dress in black. They're always in a white or a lighter color. You would say, of course, it's because they're in the heat and shit like that. But even when they're in their $1 million mansions and shit, they got air conditioning, they don't wear no black nothing. Very rarely. In their culture, they're racist. I done battled them in the UK. You tell them Christ is black. They say, no, not my Isa, just like a Christian. They call Christ Isa. And they think Christ is a white boy because they light skin, he light skin. You get the point? I told one of them Arabs, God is black. He said, what do you mean black? I say, show me a black man. He say, you. I say, yeah, God look like me. He said, you? Ha! God could never be you. They can't take that. They cannot take it. You get the point? The whole black thing with them is absolutely ridiculous. So 1 million black Jews fled into Africa. That's where you get your slaves for this transatlantic slave trade from. You get it from those who fled into Africa. We went into Africa to hide. We went across the mountains. That's what Christ said, flee to the hills in the south. Right? That there was that mountain range over there that would take you into Egypt and all the way down to Africa. What's going on? Come on.
It was
give me the comments. Is there a comment?
Yeah, comment, sir.
All right, go ahead. Let me get it. Mike. If that's a Shabbat, you could go ahead and chill. Let me see. Any more in that? Go ahead.
Recent officer of war says, Salaki said the Moroccan soccer team was criticized for not having any dark-skinned players. And I just hate the Moroccans, personally. Salaki.
God damn. Gosh. The Moroccan football team, I don't say soccer. Right? It's like, that's one of the words like Adoni to me. But each to each his own. But the Moroccan football team, blah, blah, blah. Right? Yeah, they are extremely racist. And the Arabs have always been racist. They always are and they always will be. All right.
Salaki, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I posted the video that you're looking for on our page.
Okay, what video is it again?
The Democrats marching.
Okay, yeah, please, if you could show that up. Okay. And we just get back on this, all right?
Salaki too, if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
And this is that video as they pulling it up. When I seen it, the first thing that came to my mind is we are living in the time of I told you so. And I hate to, it's hard not to boast when you've been, and I only been in the truth a short time compared to Commander Junior YAHANNA. But even in my time, it's been the hatred that we receive from speaking the prophecies that God has said in the Bible. It'll make you, when you see it come to pass and you see people are shocked, it make you want to be like, I told you so. I remember Commander Junior YAHANNA has been on the streets of America saying, voting does nothing. It means nothing. That's not how you enact change for our people. And you look at Christians now, And these big-headed Negroes look so shocked and stunned now that they are elected officials, and some average white man security guard told them no. And I'm like, damn, this devil.
Because this is the funny part. When people see the video, I don't even think he was security.
Right.
He didn't have a fucking badge. He put out a little piece of plastic. And they say, you have a badge? He put out, you know the plastic shit they give you when you go to them insurance recruiting shit where there's like 100 people in the room and they put your name on a piece of paper and slide it in a he pull out something like that and say, here. And as they go to read it, he flick it back. And he said, let me see that. He pull it out. And as they lean forward to read it, he just pull it back. I don't think that nigga was security. Yeah. I think he's somebody's friend who just said, hey, watch this. I'm going to fuck with that. Right. Go out.
Sir, but as I'm watching it, it just shows that our understanding as blacks and Hispanics is not reality. Like, we've been fed a lie and we just been fed nonsense. Esau doesn't operate according to rules and laws and structure and order. And we've been trying to play their game when their game always changes. Like, this is what real power looks like. We fought all our lives to get the right to vote. You gotta join the system and change it from the inside. And many times I heard that nonsense, and we got within the system, and then you find out the system means nothing. An average white, look at this puny devil. Puny. He telling elected.
You can pause it right there, but don't play it yet. All right? Go ahead.
This puny oppressor is telling elected officials, and supposed to be the greatest nation in the world, no, you can't come in here. And this man, drinks Bud Light when he goes home, and he makes half the money they make, and it's all I could think of is, we told you so. We told you. You made us feel like ignorant niggas.
I think you need to make a T-shirt with "I told you so" on the top for cancer. I think I told you, big dummy, like Fred Sanford, you big dummy, and then on the back, I told you so. You get the point?
That's
and listen,
right.
These senators is super powerful senators. That the older sister there, I think she's from California or something. I keep forgetting her name all the time. She was right there. She's the one telling them, we pay your salary. And for all the great shit she did for black people in terms of the way she stood up, because she stood up against some evil ass shit. I always forget her name, because like you might remember her name.
Maxine something.
Maxine Waters, that's her name? I think she's in the group. She's in the group. And brother, this Maxine Waters, she has a reputation, like she's a senator among senators. You get the point? The other one from New York, the Puerto Rican broad, Ocasio-Cortez, she is there. You're hearing her voice. And brother, this white man, I'm sure on Saturday night, he get pissy drunk and scream, get her done. And he stood up against them. They had no power. It was so embarrassing. Go ahead and play it out. Let's see how Black History, for Black History Month, let's see the failure of the Democratic Party for the black vote. Do it one time for the black vote, Bukwash. Go ahead and play it.
We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
This is from the beginning? He said, we're coming in. Don't lock the door. Like, don't lock me out, master. We coming in. And they march down there on their high horse, brother. And you should see how they dressed up. And the nigga said, do you have an appointment? He said, no, but we're senators. He said, well, if your name not on the list, I can't let you in. I'm like, but damn. Shit. A senator don't got no goddamn power. Go ahead.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you,
sir?
Do you have business here?
Yeah. I've sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I've never that that's been accepted, so until that's
Wait a
accepted.
minute.
Who are you? And what do you do here?
What do you do
I have
here?
security responsibility.
Get out of the way. We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We
Congress.
pay you.
We're not
Nobody has accepted
as
me.
members of Congress.
You are.
We haven't heard that from the secretary. We haven't heard that from the spokesman.
I'm relaying that.
You are not the spokesman for the department. You are a security guard.
Can you
We're members of Congress.
Where's your badge? Where's your badge? Where's your ID? Identification. Where's your ID? Where's your ID? We are not. It's not good enough. We are not.
They want to close the Department of Education. They want to cut back on funding for low-income areas through Title I. They want to eliminate Head Start. They want to cut back on school lunches, cut back on access to college. And we're going to make sure that they recognize that that has to go through Congress and through our committee. And if we can get 3 Republicans to join us on the committee, we can stop everything they want to do. And if it gets out of committee, we need 3 Republicans in the United States to join us to block what they want to do in abolishing the Department of Education.
President Donald Trump has promised to abolish the Department of Education. And he believes that he can do this through executive order. And we're here to remind him that he cannot. Trump and Musk have placed Doge staffers in the building where they have access to the private data of millions of students and families. Already, they have placed dozens of employees who perform vital services on which our schools, teachers, and students depend on leave. So we're here today to follow up on a letter that 95 of my colleagues and I sent this week. We asked to meet with the acting secretary, and we have yet to receive a response. We are here to ask her, will you comply with an illegal executive order?
Nigga, you got to comply with that front door. That's what the hell you got to do. You got to comply with that front door. Brother, that was shameless, huh? They had no shame at all about themselves. They didn't feel defeated. They didn't feel no type of way. That was a ton of power that went down there. And shit, in a way, I could see why Trump want to take away his salary. Because what, you getting paid to do that? How much your salaries is? 100,000? What's the average salary of a senator? Somebody look it up. All right, Shapat, I'm going to read a little bit more in this here too, all right? You have it yet?
100, hold on.
I got 100. I got 193,000, sir.
Get the hell out of here. 106. Shut the front door. 193,000 US to go down and beg some no-name white man to open a government building. That's a government building, Noah. That's not a private office. It's the Department of Education. We pay your salary. You know who we are. He just like, you ain't coming in. $100 and something thousand times 20. I mean, I can send some UPK officers down there and they'll do way more. Go ahead, sister. You're sending mine for the sister real quick. Shapat, let me watch under the computer, all right? Go ahead, sis. Let me hear you. Listen, I am not sure it's YAHANNA. Listen, she about to drop it. Come on, sis. Go ahead.
And in the end, I think they end up pulling Homeland Security out
to try to get them. No, yeah. This is how I know the whole thing was really to show them they had no power. There was official government police. If you look in the back of the glass where the white man standing up, there's uniform cops there with the bulletproof vests just walking around. So it's to show them they have no power. You get the point? At the end, they had to get the Department of Homeland Security to come out there.
Right.
And so they came out to let them come in?
No, I think they came out for security.
To tell them move. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're a threat at this point. Because the white man said, I feel threatened. I think I feel threatened. And she's like, how did we threaten you? Let's show for the record we didn't threaten you. Meanwhile, they said, move or we'll move you. Some shit like that they said to him. And I'm like, boy, they could have just built something to last. And they're incapable of building anything to last. That's why that happened. All right, let's get back on this, all right? This is also from Babylon to Timbuktu. Give me this page here, page 90. Give me the highlighted section.
From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 90. The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, law.
If we African, why he separated the two? Read it again.
The black Jews.
The black Jews. He had to say they were black because Africans are also dark skinned. You get the point? And these Jews, they were dark skinned, but they were Jews. These black Jews had what?
Had an advantage over the African tribes.
Mm-hmm.
They carried, they carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
We carried our culture, our history, our laws, our written records with us as we fled into Africa. Go ahead.
That at that time wasn't the Ark of the Covenant, but just the Bible. Period.
Okay, think like when we moved, we took our culture, our cult, our way of life with us. That's what you want to think there. Don't think like specifics, documents, and don't think that. Meaning, when we were brought the Americas, and you want to say the Americas, North, South, and Central America, as slaves, we did not bring our culture with us. You understand what I'm saying? Or let me rephrase that. We were not allowed to keep our culture. Right? Maybe a first generation, but after that, brother, everybody was Christian. You understand? Grew up Christian. Here, we went into Africa and kept our culture. This is what you have to think. What is in this context, what is one of the main aspects of our culture in this context?
So, like, if I may, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Separation.
Staying separate. We have laws. Make no marriages with them. Stay separate from them. When we went into Egypt, remember, Moses told the Egyptians we were shepherds. We were goat farmers. But the Egyptians hate goats. They hate the animals. They hate the whole thing with them. They'll have sex with a goat, but they don't want to be around the damn goat. They'll take a golden shower from a cow, but they don't want to be around it. It's the same thing here. We stayed separate from them. We not African. They're not like us. We're not the same as them. Go ahead.
This assured them a constant.
This what?
This assured them.
This what?
Assured them.
Assured. This was a surety. This was a protection. This was a guaranteed come up. Staying separate was a guaranteed come up for the Jews who fled into Africa. This assured them. Go ahead.
A constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
Read a constant what?
Precedent.
Let me see that one. Where you reach? Right. Precedent for the development. Go ahead. This assured them.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
Right. This staying separate gave us a guarantee, an assured guarantee of creating a precedent. Meaning, a precedent is an event that you would refer to in the past that gives a certain outcome today, or because of this is what happens, and this is why we have to go this route. You see that word a lot in law. Plenty lawyers use it, and judges use it in judgment cases where they'll cite a case in cup versus bottle. That's a precedent case. So because the judgment from this case means you have to rule exactly the same way in this case because the case is the same. So this assured us a precedent of having a higher social what? Organization. So meaning what? Because we have this law against separation, because we brought our culture with us, which is these laws to remain holy. Thou art a holy people. We speak the holy tongue. Thou art to be separate. You are holy people. That gave us a precedent. Why were we separate in Africa? Because we were separate before in Egypt. We were separate wherever we were. And today, we still separate, even though we think we're part of them. They separate from us now. But that gave us a precedent to have a higher social organization. We was thriving in Africa before slavery. We were better than the Africans, just like we are today. Better than the Africans. And brother, since that Super Bowl final, brother, the amount of these Africans make videos with that Kendrick Lamar intro. They down there in the huts with the cows on the side and poverty and slippers half naked, and they're doing the whole day not like us. Which lets you know. I'm trying to get flat. Listen, I ain't got no copyright money to give you, all right, Kendrick Lamar. You get the point? You'll go after Bakwash pockets. Now I'm just joking. But that lets you know we are the ones who set the trends. We are the ones who are a superior organization to everybody. All right, go ahead. And now, even with that, they're not like us. That beat Kendrick took, that's a Mexican beat. The whole intro, that's Mexican music. And that's typical West Coast fusion. That's a West Coast sound. But that, you see that beginning, that you don't forget my voice, but you get the point. You know that intro. That's the background. That's the mariachi. That's them playing. That's that band. That's that Mexican music. That's the West Coast sound. But that's our music. We are not African. Latinos are though. Not African, but they are Salakia. Go ahead.
Caucasian. Because of the stability of the Black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the
Put some mustard on the beef. Let me help you out. Let me help you out.
Autochthonous.
Come on now.
Autochthonous.
Pass the book out. Shit. All right, hold on. Because of the stability of the Black Jewish culture, and our culture is stable once we stay separate, where we are. The Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. No, you were right. You got it. Give me a powder. You were right. Give me my hand. Right? In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were industrious and skillful, and a skillful people. Meaning, okay, that population was the ruling class. And it's easy to be sucked into the ruling class of people. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You go to Africa, it's easy to become one of the Ubuntu tribes and put away your culture. But we've always been superior. And just like today's fashion, we'll come up with something and the heathens will cleave to it and try to be part of us, like Burna Boy. Burna Boy went and took what? R&B music and Benjaminite dancehall music and fused that together, and they call it what? Now, well, he didn't do it. It started before him, but they call it Afro beats. And now they're all up in what? The best new Black artist. Remember Thames won it? How is an African part of this shit? How? But that's been going on since then, where they now would try to absorb into our culture. And not us going into theirs and abandoning ours. You get the point? We've always been separate. We are not African. There's another video, you could look at it on the DC page, where these Native Indians sisters who they're dressing the powwow. They're dressing the powwow garment. Right, and even the footsteps, even the whole sea walk, the footsteps comes from them. That's their traditional. I don't want to call it religious dance, but that's their cultural dance. That's their cultural step, and they're doing the same thing with the Kendrick Lamar beat. Right? You have it. I don't know how much you could play of it though. It's on the DC page. It's a fairly new video. No, it's there. It's absolutely there.
It's like, if I may, sir, and while he pulling that up, and what you said is so heavy about when you go into the records that we're reading right now about how we were in Africa, that legacy that we left, just how influential we were, that's the reason why you have people that are unlearned. That's the reason why you have people that are unlearned that say the Igbos are Israelites, are our people, because they're simply just Africans who have attached themselves to the remnants of our culture when we were there. Those Igbos are not Israelites. They're Africans that are still holding on to what was passed down because their forefathers were so enamored and fascinated with when our forefathers when we were there.
That's right. Give him a hand. Listen up. General Katham taught me this years ago, brother. I was playing the song by a Benjaminite brother. and they was talking about the song was talking about a drum called the kete drum, and he was asking me what's a kete drum. I says a drum they play. And it's an old school drum. I think they get it from Africa. And John Uncle Thumb said, "How you know they get it from Africa?" And I said, "Well, shit, that's what I was told growing up." And he said, "How you know the Africans they get it from us?" And brother, it was a wee moment. I was like, spin around me, and I was like, it's like, yeah, he's like, they don't got no rhythm or nothing. Their music ain't that.
Right.
That's probably a drum they get from us, but because they're the bigger nation and more prominent, they get it's attributed to them, which is something else we're gonna go into here. It's attributed to them, but that shit is us. And really that's how it is, because Africans always try to cleave to Benjamite culture for the food, from the food to the music, certain languages, and say, see, we the same, you get it from us. No, nigga. The world has gotten everything from us. Every single thing. Anything that's good and fly and proper and organized comes from us. I'm gonna tell you something. America got Judites to thank for how America is. Because brother, I ain't got not boasting, but I do a little bit of traveling out, and I see similarities between the Caribbean and Britain. And a lot of culture that we think is ours as Benjamites is not our culture. It's just what was put into us, being under them, inbred retards from Britain. And same thing with the tribe of Judah here. But also on the flip side, the parts of their society that you would think is them, that you would give them credit for, really come from the slaves. For instance, how clean America is compared to other places is because of the slaves. The practice we have is because of it. Outside of America on the Caribbean islands, and of course the Benjamites who live in Europe, nobody uses a wash rag. A wash rag is a foreign thing. It's a foreign thing. The brothers who went to the castle a couple of years ago in King James Castle, Ariam made a post. Now I was going to make the post, but I was like, I ain't gonna point it out. We stayed in the hotel in Scotland. There's no wash rags. When you go to a hotel, you get a range of towels. You get the big one, you get the one for the floor, you get the one for your hand, and then there's the face towels, the wash rags you can use to wash your body. There's none in the hotel. There's none. You get one towel. Aria made a post. It's like, was I the only one who had to go ask for a towel and they didn't know what I was talking about? And it's true, because that's not their culture. That part comes from us. You get the point? That part of it comes from who we are as a people. So when you see how America is with how it's organized and this and that, that part comes from the tribe of Judah being organized and militant. And of course, it extended up to them. Go ahead, Mike. Does he have your mic?
I was this Hamite was telling me how he went and did a tour of King Louis the 15th, whatever, in France.
Mm-hmm.
The Versailles Palace or whatever. So he said that he did a tour. He was walking around all the the rooms and all that stuff, and then he just noticed something. He just like, we've been on a tour for about an hour, and you haven't shown us the bathroom.
Yeah,
he was like, where's the bathrooms? He was like, well, they didn't have bathrooms. What they had was pots that you just put in the corner, and whenever you needed to go, you just go in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And that pot of mess just stays there in all the rooms.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets thrown through the window.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just gets thrown through the window onto the streets. The whole, remember the plague, the Black Plague that affected Europe. I don't think it affected anywhere else. I mean, you'll correct me if I'm historically wrong. But that Black Plague that was so famous in Europe and England. Tell me where else that Black Plague was. Because they're not like us. They're really not. We are the people who form everything. Everything is really comes from us. Culture comes from us. Culture, the real societal culture, not just how they live, but the real thing that we actually live life. And how we live, they all love it. They want it. They're fascinated by it. How, our structure, our, the men, the masculinity, the women, the femininity, the standards of beauty, the standards of masculinity, all that comes from us. We just disenfranchise and we don't know it comes from us. But you look at it long enough, you get to realize they really get that from us. Modern language today in America is not what it was 20, 30 years ago. Modern language today is filled with ebonics, which they didn't allow 20, 30 years ago. Now there's a whole addition to the dictionary for slang or colloquial language or informal language that's heavily the stuff we do. All these apps, Uber, the ride share, and the TikTok and the Vine, all that comes from our style of living. That Uber is, you go to Baltimore and other cities, they have the hack taxi drivers where it's your own personal car and you could pay somebody to go anywhere. That's back in the day, they had that in New York, brothers doing the dollar cab. You go to the Caribbean islands and the Puerto Rico and South Americans, that's life. Somebody have a car, they may not have a 9 to 5, but there's a place you could go where they're all parked up and say, hey, listen, man, I'm trying to go over there. How much to go? And they give you a price and you negotiate it right there. That's where you get your ride share from. Remember the Vine? You'll remember Vine, the app, and the TikToks. That's us. That's us on the corner talking and laughing and doing shit. How many times you remember you and your boys hanging out in 16 or your sisters hanging out somewhere and somebody says something so funny and you're crying, your stomach hurting, and you wish you could just capture it to show everybody else. All that is us. Everything modern in society is us. It's not them. Ain't nobody trying to be no African. Africans trying to get us to come to Ghana, Nigeria, and invest and be there. Why they can't do it themselves? Why they can't just make it look attractive by themselves? They got to bring actors and Steve Harvey and this one and make them king and make them that because we make shit look fly. If we not involved, the shit ain't hot. That's just life. Come on. Oh, Salaki, to water to her. Go ahead. Any more on that, Salak? Go ahead. Oh, shit. Watch, we working with God tonight.
I know you like that.
We working with God tonight, brother. Shit. Listen, I want something like this in the kingdom for the new slave. Babies, they ain't gonna know nothing about this. Go pick that class. No, we ain't doing it. They're gonna lose their mind. Go ahead.
In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were
that's only in yellow, all right? The rest of stuff I don't need. Go ahead.
The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were industrious and skillful people.
We were an industrious and skillful people. We don't waste stuff because we really don't. We didn't start off with a lot, and we always had only us to rely on. Remember, the other nations knew we were in captivity in Egypt. Keep that in mind. How do I know? Because when we left Egypt, they got scared to let us pass through. Remember, there was a time we passed through the valley of the serpents, and we got bit with the serpents. We had to take that route because they didn't want to let us pass through their land. Because they were scared. They were saying, damn, them Israelites coming, and you see what happened to Egypt. You see what their God did to Egypt. The other nations knew. And they say, y'all can't come in here because they thought we would do it to them. And we just wanted to pass through, which means they knew we were slaves in Egypt and did nothing, didn't complain, didn't care, much like today. So we've always had to put it together with less than necessary. We've always been in this situation right here. You would know it if you follow the real God. But because you're Christian, you hear ICE and you panic. Nigga, you think if we all get deported or get sent somewhere, what's going to happen? The whole detention center going to be facing the east, nigga. That's what's going to happen. That's what should happen, but you're Christian, so you're scared. You're scared. You get scared to get picked up. You get scared to lose your job, whatever. Nigga, I'll lose the slavery and go to the, what's the office? Social services to file the unemployment. And everybody in there going to be facing the east. I know they're Israelite. F around and find out. Go ahead, give them the
you know what I'm saying? Officer, what's it? I.S.U.P.K. Just sing the song. This is my people. Officer, not I.S.U.P.K, but
Aisha
in Dallas.
Ashia?
I.S.U.P.K.
Ashia.
I.S.U.P.K.
No, don't say Aisha. Officer Ashia. Yeah, that's how you say it. Ashia.
Ashia.
You still say it. All right, go ahead.
Ashia.
You got it. You got it.
He got an I.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Then it's
I'm done.
Ashia.
I'm done. I don't teach the Hebrew class. This is what he says. Not right. That's my fault, Shabazz. I'm trying to teach you Hebrew. What the F is wrong with me?
Ashia. But he got on there, you know, he was saying if he was get locked up, you know what I'm saying, he gonna raise up the whole yard.
That's it. It's once you realize which God you serve, you know, they could do whatever the hell. That's it's a sad thing that our people have to give their fear to some devil who got to lie, who's a fella now, got to lie and scheme and give your fear to the Lord. It's a sad thing. It's rough. I feel for our people. But man, you should have listened to the UPK, man. This whole thing could have been easier on you and your family. I watched that tape very regular with that Asherite sister down there in Florida who came from Venezuela and was a spokesperson for that group of protected immigrants because the Venezuelan country, the government fell and they came seeking asylum and they had a deal with America under Biden and they were part of a protected group, which means they couldn't be deported. They were getting processed. And the Trump officials went to them and told them, if you vote for Trump, he's going to protect you. And he said they only going to deport the bad ones. They said, yeah, we'll vote for you as long as you take the bad ones. Trump's first day in office, he revoked all the protection and deported them anyway. If you listen to us and understood that the white man is the devil, es blanco hombre, es el diablo in la Santa Biblia, you would have known you can't trust him, you shouldn't vote for him. And even if you get deported, man, go in there and raise up an army. Raise up Israelites. Make them scared to where next to send you. Nigga, you could send me on the moon, a Martian gonna be in Sabbath service. I'm tell you that straight up and down. The alien gonna be, you know, it's state your registry, alien. You get the point? You're gonna have to be able to do it. And this is a hard time to live in, and more gonna happen. You know, you're attacking the government, destabilizing stuff. A lot of people who have slavery is wondering what's their future, and you shouldn't wonder what's your future. You should have been building it in here. You should have been paying your tithes up in here and coming and learning how to live and how to rule and building brotherhood and traveling and seeing schools all over the place. As this place falls, if your heart is in this place, you're going to be grief-stricken. My heart is with the Lord. And our heart in here is with the Lord, and mine is with the Lord. And waiting on his time. It doesn't matter what happens to this place. It don't matter. Because we know what's coming next. And this next period under this oppressor, brother, is going to be so trying mentally. You all thought COVID was hard on people's mental. This next 4 years, brother, is going to be insane. They say the news tonight, they say DC has a record amount of unemployment applications. You know, application probably the wrong word, but the claims. They say this week they've seen a record amount of unemployment claims, and that comes from all the firing that going on. All the firing that going on, you know, it's about to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. They're saying all the offers he made to the government people, saying take 800,000 now and you resign in the next how much ever years. They say, who knows if you're going, not years, months. They say, who knows if you're even going to get the check with this devil. You might sign away your slavery, take the deal, and come down and he say you can't get the money. What are you gonna do at that point? They're gonna go on Trump, they're gonna go on March and you know, Trump? No. Yeah, look, I got a job for you. You always like to tell us on the street, get a job. None of you big-headed government niggas better come around the camp. I'm gonna tell you, get a job. I'm going on by that. You marching with Trump, you know, oppression, the suggestion, we want our pension. Get a job. I'm gonna go on there and deflate your damn ego. Go ahead.
Salahi, my man, on the news, I was saying that Trump is trying to say it's some type of way where he can do another 4 years after this.
Well, that's what they're worried about. They're worried that he's setting it up that he can. Who cares? I don't give a damn. Okay, if he do another 4 years, great. He'll be the one to meet Christ.
Oh.
What do I care?
Oh.
You know what I mean? You worry about another 4 years, nigga. I'm looking out to see what happens in the next 4 hours. Shit. You get the point? Like our life is different. It's different, and I feel for people in the world, it could be very unsettling this time. But you're gonna figure out which God you want to serve. All right, we finish here. All right, cool. So now let's move. Right. So now we understand that the Jews fled into Africa, but we are not African. So now let's get so you see. So I told you how to keep tabs on this. I put an air tag and these covers are. So now let's get the 12 tribes. So now you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who are strongly of what they would call Negro. They would recognize as Negro. The rest they would say is Latino. But of course, that's not. They look at the phenotype or the physical structure of all these tribes, because most of our people learn from the oppressor, and that's how he classifies things based on their looks. He classifies a whole lot of things based on their look and their physical composition. He doesn't classify things based on, lineage with the father and stuff like that. He doesn't look at it like that. The 12 tribes are made up of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, not every Benjamite or any person from the islands is from the tribe of Benjamin. Nicki Minaj is from the islands. Some people is from Trinidad. That's an East Indian or Elamite. She is not a Benjamite. Your old school brothers and sisters, you'll remember a Benjamite or Benjamite singer called Supercat. You remember Supercat? He's an East Indian. He's not us. Come on, Bakwash, man, you let me down. You thought he was one of us? You couldn't see that, he want to be. You always know the heathen because they try to go harder than the natural people. Bob Marley, he tried to go harder than Peter Tosh and Bonnie Whaler. Sean Paul is another one. You get the point? There's so much of them that hide in the culture and become the culture vultures. They take over and they become way more successful than the actual people doing it. It's like Eminem versus, any rapper. Shit, any rapper. Eminem is in the argument of the greatest rapper alive. Imagine that shit. Not saying that's my argument, but he's being talked about like that. And because he's a heathen that done took our culture. So you have to look at it like that. It's the same thing with the Latino tribes, not every single one, but there are those. And it's not based on skin color or hair texture. It's based on who your father is. You get the point? So the tribe of Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. The Cubans is Manasseh. Zebulon is Guatemala to what? Panama to Guatemala. That's that Central American area. You have Asher, which is Colombia to Uruguay. That's Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, Bolivia. No, I think Peru might be Naphtali, right? Peru might be Naphtali with Uruguay and Argentina. All right, that's Naphtali. Did I leave out anybody? You have Gad, who are the North American Indian, and you have Reuben, who are the Seminole Indians, which are the native people from the south, the more southern side of America, like Florida, Louisiana. That would be Reuben. The Gadites would be the North America, more so like Dakota, Oklahoma is going up that side. All right. I leave out nobody, right? Tell me if I did. I don't think I left anybody out. That's it.
Who is Chile?
Chile would be Naphtali. Naphtali is what, Argentina to Uruguay, right? That western side of South America, right? You have Argentina, you have Uruguay. I think Chile is somewhere right there. I believe Peru is right there too. You could check it out. All right, either Peru is either Naphtali or Asher. Can't fully remember based on the map. All right, those are the 12 tribes of Israel. Of our people have issues with it. But we're gonna have some proof of it here today. This is not the only proof, but this is some proof of it. All right. Okay, where do I want to start with this? Let's get it here. All right.
Salakia, sir.
Please come on.
I sent over a couple of pictures in contrast to what we're talking about. With
okay, yeah, I definitely saw it. Some of them I can't use. I was just about to text you. Let me just finish the text.
Come on, sir.
All right. Some of them I'm not going to use. I'm going to explain to you why. Salakia, to water to I definitely saw it. Let me just send you the text right now. Every time I try to finish, something else come up. All right. Okay. Let's start. Okay, so we have a few reference books here and the Apocrypha. Okay, so now.
Sorry, there's a question online.
Come on. You got the mic? Go ahead.
Coralla comes says, Salaki, sir, could you also go into how the name Samaria became the name of our Latino brothers and sisters?
Okay, I'll go into it briefly for time's sake. Let me get out at the end, all right? Okay, let's start with this one myth, right? So now, according to the naysayers who say that the Latino tribes are not Israel, when we tell them they are, they say, well, where did they were here? They were here all the time. They were never in the Middle East. That's a lie. They came from the Middle East. Also, they say that, what do the historians say? What do you all know of some of the scholars, I would say, or some of the historians, or some of the naysayers? What do they say is the mode of which the native people and the Latinos came to the Americas?
If I may, sir.
Come on.
Kawakan, they say that the Bering Strait, that land bridge from Russia over to Alaska, is how our so-called Native American brothers and sisters got here.
That's right. They say that Bering Strait is how they got. It's how they say they walked across land. And when you really look at the Bering Strait, it's not really land. It's a part. It's okay. Russia connects to the Americas on both sides, damn near. No, not both sides. On one side, on that west side, right? And there's no land mass for them that's there to walk. They say it got frozen during winter time. It's frozen over, and when the winter comes, there's a connecting piece of the land because it's so close that they could just walk over, which is another lie. All right, we actually came from the east. Shameless plug. This is a book written by Captain Katazar with a lot of references in here. We're gonna get one of the references tonight. You could also check him for the book. You'll get it. It's a guide. It's definitely a good guide with all the references we teach from. Right? It's called "We Came from the East." Let me let the young brother read. All right. Look for here for me where page 40, the Bering Strait. All right. Bukwachi was able to pull up a picture.
The Bering Strait.
All right. Make sure he has the mic. All right. Go to page 40 where it says the Bering Strait. All right.
The Bering Strait theory.
Mm-hmm.
In 1996, in the book Race and the Other Misadventures, anthropologist Michael L. Blakely argued in an essay, Skull Doctors Revisited, Intrinsic, Social, and Political Bias in the History of the American Physical Anthropology, with the special reference to the work of.
You might have to skip. You could skip down all them reference points.
Okay.
Let's get to the part where they're talking about what they say and actually happened. Hold on, let me see it there. I think you might have started on this. You probably have started on the page before. Hold on. Okay, start here. Hold on. Start with the origin of the theory on this side.
Okay.
And then on this side here, you're going to start. I'm going to tell you where you'll start. Hold on. Yes, just start here. For time's sake, I think we might just get this part. The origin of the theory. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Herlicka subscribed to the pseudo-scientific eugenics theories that were in vogue at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Eugenics, essentially scientific racism, was based on the work of Darwin's cousin Francis Galton, who had proposed that the perceived superiority of the white race was due to a superior genetic makeup, a theory highly controversial even then. Herlicker worked with and was influenced by America's leading eugenist, Charles B. Davenport. And he received funding to conduct research and launch his magazine, the American Journal of Physical Anthropology, from Madison Grant, author of one of the most infamous works of scientific racism, The Passing of the Great Race.
Right. So in essence, what they're saying is the theory came from a white supremacist standpoint. You get the point? That's why they said this. What the eugenics philosophy? Really part with the eugenics. Just a couple lines up.
Who had proposed that he perceived superiority of the white race was due to a superior genetic makeup, a theory highly controversial even then.
Right, that the eugenics part is a little bit further up, but they said the white supremacist belief that they were superior genetically to us. Right, read further where it says something about eugenics.
Eugenics, essentially scientific racism.
Right, read further back, a few lines before eugenics. That's how it starts.
Herlicker now subscribed to the pseudo-scientific eugenics theories that were in vogue at the time.
Right, the pseudo-scientific eugenic theories was that the same thing is really a white supremacist theory, that white people were superior and advanced and colored folks were different degrees of less than the white man. And that's where it started. This whole Bering Strait theory started there. All right, go ahead.
Eugenics, essentially scientific racism, was based on the work of Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton, who had proposed that he perceived superiority of the white race was due to a superior genetic makeup, a theory highly controversial even then. Herlicker worked with and was influenced by America's leading eugenist, Charles B. Davenport, and he received funding to conduct research and launch his magazine, the American Journal of Physical Anthropology, from the Madison Grant, author of one of the most infamous works of scientific racism.
Right? So his funding came from the same white supremacists. And that's how they come up with these scientific theories that were really racist in nature. Go ahead.
The Passing of the Great Race. Herlicker's theory of the Bering Strait migration was identical to that of James Adair, who had proposed it more than a century before, except for the lost tribes part. They were both based not on scientific evidence, but on presumption born in religion that then migrated to science, the antiquity and preeminence of Western culture over all others.
Right. So this theory of the Bering Strait came from more so of their racism and whatever religion they were in, that they proposed this Bering Strait theory to the world, and they had no scientific evidence for it, which is really, there's a lot of what they call now pseudoscience or eugenic science, they coin it today, that really was statements that were taken as truths because of white supremacy. You get the point? Come on.
It's just, every single time, it just never amazes me how the Lord does. Because before you started this about the Bering Strait,
go ahead.
Somebody put a comment in there and said we from somewhere else and we migrated from the Bering Strait.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, shit. And I wasn't even going to go into the Bering Strait, but I said that for the time, that might be where I need to start. So, okay, I could probably finish up a little bit more on that next week. But they came up with this theory that the first people who was on this land surely couldn't have come by boat because they were mentally inferior. They were not so skilled to have navies like Rome. They couldn't sail, so they would have had to walk. So let's look to see how they could walk. And the only place that they could connect from the Middle East to the Americas was through Russia. Now, nigga, I mean, shit, if you could look at a map when you get some time and look around where Israel is, which is biblically not just where you see today, but all Turkey and Iraq and Saudi Arabia, all there. And then look at Russia. And that would mean they have to go east from, they had to go east until east became west through the cold arc. And somehow just made it across and then didn't stay in Alaska, just came all the way down. It's bullshit. It never happened. All right. We're going to get here now. What time we have? 9:11. Let me see if I get finished in 20 minutes. All right. You'll bear with me. Bukwash, I need you to, or Mathaya, you could look it up. It's either on the DC page or probably my own Facebook page. It's a video of, I need it from one of those pages though. It's a video of the Bat Creek Stone. Bat is either B-A-T or B-A-T-H. I'm not too sure. Bat Creek Stone. Just hold it and just find it for me and hold it. I know I have it on my page somewhere, so you can go in the videos, look it up, or it might be on the DC page already. So now this is another book. It's called Discovery of Ancient America. And if you look close enough, you know, Bukwash, I think you're the probably closest thing to the Hebrew scholar in here. What's that on the front of the book? Well, that's not paleo. We don't call nothing paleo. That's last one. God, I take my comment back. God damn. That's the Hebrew. Don't call it paleo. The white man calls it paleo. That's your video. It's on there? All right, no sweat. Are you trying to hold on to the book? Y'all think I ain't seen the book pass it? The young brother passed it to Shabbat. Shabbat grabbing the book and looking at me like, yeah, no sweat. I appreciate y'all. We'll put this right here, out of reach. Okay. Y'all can go see Catholics out for one. You ain't got to get mine. No, I'm joking out. All right. This is the ancient Hebrew, right? Come on.
Like the same person now. It's like the same person now is now saying, "Oh, I was just saying that we don't believe that now. We really come from the what they call the Grand Canyon and all that."
Yeah, whatever, nigga.
Yeah,
shut up and listen. All right, shut up and listen. Shut up, and listen. All right, so I'm gonna need some reading. Shapad, you probably could come up and grab this. All right. So this is a book called Discovery of Ancient America. I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna need these pages read. A lot of these is pictures, but okay, so you're gonna read this whole first page. Do I want the whole first page? Yeah. Then here I need what's underlined. All right. What's underlined. Then you'll give it back to me. I'm gonna show this, and I'm gonna skip you through. I'm gonna skip you through a few pages in this. All right. So this is called Discovery of Ancient America. All right. You feel they done did something nice here. I feel the front of that. They done embossed the Hebrew in the thing out. Come on, go ahead.
You said I'm loud, right?
Yeah, well, just read the whole first page because it's going to give you the backdrop of it. You can put it there. Let me move the computer. Hold it, bro.
No, you do ours.
I don't want you to press on the screen.
Cause.
All right. No sweat. Go ahead.
Oh God. The secret of the hidden mountain.
All right.
On the right bank of the Rio Perucos, some 30 miles southwest of Albuquerque, in the brown, barren waste of Valencia County, New Mexico, stands a volcanic massacre. The people in the general area call it Hidden Mountain.
Right. This is located in New Mexico in America. All right. Go ahead.
Or Mystery Mountain.
Right. They call it, the people around it, which is largely Issachar and Gad, they call it Mystery Mountain or the Hidden Mountain. Right. Because they say it comes from some volcanic activity. All right. Go ahead.
Oh God. But the Indians retain its more ancient title.
Right. Now, the native Indians who they have an older name for this area. And it's a more ancient title. Go ahead.
Cerro Los Maquahino.
Right. Cerro Los Maquahino. Go ahead.
Cliff of the Strange Writings.
Right, and they call it Cliff of the Strange Writings because what they found there was language that's old as hell.
It's like, I mean, I can read this language, right?
Right, listen, I know you can. Go ahead, but read this language over here. For time's sake. Give that a eye. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
These names aptly apply, for upon its slopes, a secret is revealed that, if accepted, would change the basic concepts upon which ancient American history is built.
Right? If this the what's written on the slopes of this mountain is so ancient and old, if you could accept what he's about to bring out here, and this is a devil, some old scholar, some anthropologist, he had a ton of books. He went and did the research and compiled stuff and seen it. He said, if you could accept that, it's going to change what they're saying about America, which we already teach in here. I just have the books to back it up tonight. It's Black History Month. Go ahead.
Few even dare its challenge. Nevertheless, the emerging evidence compels us to conclude that this wild wilderness region was in ancient times visited by adventurers of the Middle East.
Right. So he's saying, based on what they found on this mountain, it could only be that people came from the Middle East because of what they found. This just wasn't just there. Go ahead.
Atop these natural volcanic ramparts is found in ancient ruins of a camp laid out in military fashion.
Right, they found a camp setup laid out in ancient military fashion, laid out in companies. Go ahead, keep going. They're gonna tell you.
That is in a perimeter of small 1 or 2 man dugouts, which are called by some pit houses. For the most part, these foxholes are arranged at the rim of the mountain with a larger ceremonial ground and chieftain's complex in the western center of its heights.
Right, so in the middle of the top of it, they have more so the ceremonial place or the religious place and the priest dwellings, and on the edges, the rim of it. So just think like a mountain, but the top is like flat or has flat surface, so it's on a height. And on the rim of it, they have 2-man or 1-man dugouts where there's somebody in there watching. You get the point? Go ahead.
The perimeter dugouts hold a commanding view of all approaches to the mountain hideaway.
Right, and this is they say this was how a lot of ancient camps were set up, ancient military camps. This was also Toussaint. You remember the Haitian Revolution? Toussaint took one of those high places, and that's how he was able to hold off the attacks from Europe after he done took it over, because from this point he could shoot at the ships that was coming. So much so they had to come at him from the DR side. They didn't take over Toussaint from the coast. They had to come from inland to get to him. You get the point? So this is our way from even back then. Go ahead.
The perimeter dugouts hold a commanding view of Altalak.
Go ahead.
And the only entrance is up a steep, narrow, and easily defended defile or dry wash. The layout is classical and is precisely how an ancient or modern army unit would defend its position against a hostile environment. Ample water is available less than a quarter mile away.
Right, and which ancient military you think they reference in here? If they say this was a classic ancient military style, who you think they're actually talking about here? We know who this is, but who you think they're referencing as a reference point?
The Egyptians?
Romans.
Romans. You get the point? Because Rome was known for what? The military. But who really brought the military forward? Just like America's military. When you serve in there, you get to realize a lot of this shit is us doing it. We in there solving problems, showing them ways to do shit, strategy, all that shit. You get the point?
Okay.
And even America's military school, West Point. They study biblical war as strategy, right? Right or wrong, they study biblical war as strategy. This world gets everything from us. Every single thing. Trump talking about this DEI and the military. Take niggas and Hispanics out of the military. Let me see which war you're winning. Let me see which one. I mean, go ahead, keep going. Let's get some.
If I may, sir, just real quick.
Come on, please.
So even in the CIA, they always quote the first recorded instance of spying was when Joshua sent the Israelites to look at the land of the heathens. The CIA quotes that, like they have that memorialized in the building.
I need that, brother. If you can find a picture of that, send me that. Listen, I'm going to do a class on the CIA, brother. But before I do that class, just know I'm going to have a drink with you all and I'm going to eat some food with you all because, boy, they going to send that thing coming through the door. That 762 coming straight through the window. Go ahead.
I always wonder how you pronounce that AI, because they did a spying on the land of AI. Like, how do you pronounce it?
I don't know. Listen, is the land there anymore? I don't know. Shit. You know what I mean? I know Joshua. I know Caleb and them. I don't know the I or whoever. They're not like us. That's the point. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Ample water was available less than a quarter mile away from either the.
You read all that.
Cons.
You know what I mean? With the defiles, look for the spot with the defiles. Easily defended with the defiles and the drafts. I think it's the end of that.
Want me to go down here?
No. Wait, will you read? You finish this second one?
Nah, I'm not finished right here.
Hold on. Let me catch up to you. Because time going out.
Constant.
Yeah, right there. No, you good. You're right there. Go ahead. So what to
From either the Carrizo Wash or the Rio Pecos. The Rio Pecos is a tributary of the Rio Grande, which flows into the Gulf of Mexico.
And they call it Rio Grande, but you could say Grande too, like a big river. Go ahead.
It flows into the Gulf of Mexico and provides a natural highway to or from Hidden Mountain to the sea.
Right? Of course, that's how they would do it. You build a civilization, you want to be close to water, and you want to be able to find the open sea because of trade, because our people were skilled in the water, despite what the racist eugenics scientists and philosophers had to think of us before. We were far superior to them. They now learn in skill. We've been had it. You get the point? Okay. Go ahead. And it's Gulf of Mexico. It should ain't Gulf of America, right? Google, I'm just letting you know that shit. Go ahead.
Okay. At first, one might casually dismiss these ruins as some relic of a band of ancient Indians that roamed the area. But closer examination of the details makes such a conclusion patiently amiss. Comparison of the building formations with other Indian sites prove them unique in the Americas, but surprisingly similar to finds in the Middle East. Yet the greatest shock, causing much disbelief and offhand accusations of fraud, comes from the accompanying inscriptions found at the site, lying along the winding trail.
Right. So they say what would cause more disbelief, it comes from what they found on the site, the inscriptions they found on the site. Go ahead.
Leading to the campsite on the top of the mountain.
Right. Along the trails, a winding trail leading to the top, and it's one way in, one way out. So they set it up in a way where they could survive a siege, just like how TUSE did. This is, of course, before TUSE. I'm just showing you the mind of an Israelite. It has water, access to water, and if you're coming up there, you better come correct, or you're going to be lost on that winding trail. Go ahead.
Okay. Jets are falling, outcropping a native indigenous igneous wall. Jets are falling, outcropping of native igneous basalt.
Go ahead.
On its
hold on. Let's see what you have. Where you at? Okay, leading to the campsite, leading to the campsite on top of the mountain, juts a fallen outcropping of native igneous basalt. Basalt is like a type of rock. right? Igneous, all that igneous and impervious, all is a type of rock. This is a type of rock that was very, very hard, right? Hard and solid, and there's inscriptions in this rock. Go ahead.
On his face is carved an inscription in ancient letters. Another sort of inscription is found at the summit of the mountain. The words chiseled on these rocks are without a doubt ancient Hebrew.
Say it again.
Ancient Hebrew.
The words chiseled, read from them.
The words chiseled on these rocks are without a doubt ancient Hebrew.
Right. So as you're going up to the top of this mountain, there's words that like this came up. It's in the thing. And make sure you're not on the cord. You might be on the cord. All right. Just careful how you step in. All right. As you're going up this mountain, hit me that light quick. I'm gonna need it for the book. All right. As you're going up this mountain, make sure you ain't stepping. All right. As you're going up this mountainside, this here on this side here, that's what's in the rock. That is ancient Hebrew. That is the Lashawan Kodash that we teach on Fridays, every Friday. That's what is the shield of David. That's the ancient Hebrew. That's what you see, everywhere with us, right? And in this book, it's going to give you even more. I'm going to get some more before we end off, all right? Hold on. Ancient Hebrew. Go ahead. Be greater.
Come,
Somebody hold 2nd Ezra 13. All right, Ragash, you could grab that for me.
Sir.
All right, give me 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'm gonna tell you where. All right.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please. You read it.
The greater inscription recites the 10 commandments. If smaller reads, Yahweh is our mighty one.
So the smaller one reads what?
Yahweh is our mighty one.
The Most High is the mighty one. That's in the Hebrew as you're going up. Go ahead.
Come. The ramification of these words, if authentically composed by an ancient scribe, are enormous, giving direct proof that a connection anciently existed between the Americas through explorations of mariners.
Or mariners, go ahead.
Mariners with the Middle East.
Right, they're saying there's a connection between ancient Americas and people who navigated the earth, because there's no way there's people walking across and carving this thing, or else you would have carvings up there. This here is because they came by boat, and they're going to go on more to say it. Go ahead.
The evidence would tend to indicate naval power.
Evidence would indicate what?
Naval power.
What did Israel have?
Naval power.
What did blacks and Latinos have?
Naval power.
How did the 12 Latino tribes and the Native Indian tribes come to the Americas?
Naval power.
With naval power. They sailed the earth. Go ahead.
For some countries, as early as 3,500 years ago, it is within this framework that we must examine the 10 commandments of New Mexico.
And because they said somebody had to sail the earth. And that's how you have to examine the 10 commandments that was found in New Mexico. Later on, we're going to read some more. Up on that hill, carved in tablets, is the 10 commandments in Hebrew. They have the picture of it right here. This is nothing we made up. Let me get the book. All right.
Salakia, sir.
And also 3,500 years ago is round about what time? Trivia question. Go ahead, Mafia.
I sent the video over to y'all.
Okay. You got it? All right. Bakwash got it. Go ahead.
The time where they came out of Assyrian captivity.
Round about that time is when the tribes left the Assyrian captivity. You get the point?
Okay.
2,000 years ago was Christ. Round about just about 1,000 years ago, before that, prior, give or take, is the Syrian captivity, maybe a little bit more. So if he's saying 3,500 years ago, they would have had some naval power, meaning these people sailed over here damn near 4,000 years ago and established, a camp, military style camp. We are a militant people. Go reference Deuteronomy chapter 1, where Moses broke up the leaders of all the 12 tribes into captains and officers over the people. We've always been like that. You get the point?
Okay.
So I can sir, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's heavy that you said that because when it comes down to the Grecians, when they the Grecians and the Persians with their navals, we was underneath those boats, the ones that was getting, guiding those boats in their naval, because we was under their
Well,
captain.
we definitely were the slaves, but long before the Greeks and the Romans, Solomon had a navy. You understand? It tells you that I think in Kings, Solomon had a navy. You get the point? Solomon had a military operation by boat. So don't just, once again, you going back to the Romans, because that's what historically they put as the quintessential army. But they don't tell you that Moses was a military general in Egypt and led them into war. Remember, after Moses, Abraham went to get Lot from them Hamites and the East Indians who took him captive, and he sacked 5 kings. We had to have some kind of military power and structure and know-how that comes all the way back from us. You understand? Like that's why we move how we move. Why you think even every ghetto or every barrio or reservation, the favelas, is set up in a kind of way where if you come up there and you ain't know where you going, this could be bad for you. Everything is set up like a garrison. Even Benjamites use the word where you going over any garrison. A garrison is a military word, but we set up where we live just like that. Whereas we always trying to protect an area. Even the gang life, the gang culture, it's perverted today. But it started off with men wanting to protect their neighborhoods. You go to the history in LA, where they got this new either chief of police or sheriff, and he was from the South. And he recruited every KKK cop from the South for the LAPD. Everyone. You could go look it up. It was this new police sheriff or chief. And with him, he got rid of everybody and just brought in all his connections from the South. And brothers wasn't having that shit. They had to have gangs for protection. The gangs get perverted now because they want us to be weak. But brother, we were always a militant-minded type of people. We was never no pushover type of people. You get the point? Read from here. Start at various, but only the underline, and then skip to this underline real quick. All right.
Various unsupported opinions about the meaning of inscription rock have been advanced over the years. Some attributed it to the Mormons who out of some fraudulent attempt to prove that the American Indians were descendants of Israelites.
Read that part again,
Various unsupported opinions about the meaning of inscription rock have been advanced over the years.
Right, there was various unsupported meanings that was put forward by so-called scholars over the years. They was unsupported because, again, white supremacists, they think the first thought that come to their mind is the truth, because they got degrees and shit, and half of that should be bullshit. You get the point? That shit wasn't supported, and you'll see it with the Bat Creek Stone. The Bat Creek Stone is the proof of that shit. This stone was in the Smithsonian Museum in a box in the basement, because these dumb motherfuckers couldn't read it, and they just put it away. Go ahead.
Oh God. Some attributed it to the Mormons who out of some fraudulent attempt to prove that the American Indians were descendants of Israelites, placed the writings so as to be found as proof of their religious theory.
Right? The Mormons say the Native Indians are Israelites because they want to validify the Mormon theory. The Native Indians are Israelites, but they realize that the Mormons only saying this to promote their religion. So they dismiss it. But the Native Indians was the Israelites. Go ahead.
Okay.
You reach the end of it? Yeah, skip to the other one.
The letters of the inscription cut deeply and accurately in very hard, flinty, igneous rock are by no means a mystery. They are clearly and unequivocally a form of Paleo-Hebrew.
They call it Paleo. We don't call it Paleo. Go ahead.
Okay. A comparison of alphabets easily proves this point.
Right? A comparison of the alphabets easily proves the point. This is what they're going to show you here, all right? I'm going to try to get to the, to make sure it's big on the screen so everybody see it, right? So here, they have Aramaic or Asurith modern Hebrew. Asurith meaning what? Assyrian Hebrew. This is on this side, and this is what the printed text would be. And they call it Aramaic, right? They have the Roman letters that go with it, and then they have the Paleo Hebrew, or what they call ancient Aramaic. They call it Aram because Aram was one of the prominent sons, but it's not Aramaic. This language comes from Eba. Eba in Hebrew means what? What is Eba in Hebrew? Yeah? Ibaria. Ibar, which means of old. That's how you say Hebrew in Hebrew. Ibar. This is languages from Eba, not Aram. The white man, his scholars, all in the Vatican, they call this Hebrew Aramaic, the language rewrite. Aramaic, but they dismiss the ones we write. They say that's old. Even in the book, it tells you it's an extinct language. They look at this one as the official one. But this is the language we wrote in the Syrian captivity. This is how we wrote in the Syrian captivity. But the ancient Hebrew, this is our pure language. All right. And you can see it right there. Letters is exactly the alphabet right here. Yep, all the way down. That's exactly our Hebrew alphabet. And this one here is the Syrian. All right. So I know you can't see it from there, but it's a lot here. I'm gonna pass the book to you afterwards so you can take a look. All right. Right here. Los Lunas Rock. Go ahead.
The Los Lunas, New Mexico inscription rock is a precise rendering of the Ten Commandments.
Say it again.
The Los Lunas, New Mexico inscription rock is a precise rendering of the Ten Commandments.
One of the rocks they found on that mountain in Los Lunas is an exact script of the Ten Commandments written in the ancient Hebrew. Go ahead, you got some more? Read on.
This fact is poignantly made.
Poignantly.
Poignantly. Poignantly.
That's right. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Poignantly made in interlinear comparison using the Paleo Hebraic form found in Hidden Mountain, found at Hidden Mountain, with the modern Hebrew form found in the Masoretic text and in English translation. Note, Hebrew is read from right to left.
Right, and they're giving you the comparison of the ancient Hebrew, which is they found on the top, and then what you would find in the printed text, where when you read the Jewish man's printed text, even the Torah or the Tanakh, you would see the lower one, the second line. That's how you would see it. Their pronunciation is where you'll get the Elohim and the Adoni and the Yeshua and all that shit from, where exactly the Achu. Yeah, I mean, God bless you from. And that shit is not Hebrew because Hebrew doesn't have vowels. Hebrew is grunt songs that represents symbols, right? It's grunt songs that represent symbols. The symbol is Ah, the symbol is Ba, the symbol is Ga, the symbol is Da. It's grunt songs, right? Even the Europeans, the word barbaric, they'll tell you it's from some region in Europe, but it's because we were there and we spoke Abaga, and they say we speak this Baba language. It sounds like sheep. Ba 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 ga ga ga. Everything we say, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahasham. That's how they say we speak this Baba language, and that's where you get the word barbarian from. How the Europeans, the Greeks and the Romans would say these barbarians. Barbarians later became a catch-all phrase like immigrant. But you know from being in America, when Trump say immigrants, he's talking about who? Ukraine? Afghans? He's talking about Mexicans. When you read in history, the Romans and the Greeks talking about barbarians, just imagine niggas speaking Hebrew with gold teeth and chains and braids. That's what you have to have in your mind, all right? So this is it here. the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord, I am the Most High Yahweh, your mighty one who brought you out of the land. Hold on. You shall not have, shall there be not any mighty ones any other than me. This is the translation, but it's saying, I am the Lord your God. I am one. Why is that important? Because Islam postulated this from us. Remember, it says Muhammad saw how we had one God. We had a creed. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allahayana wa Yahweh Akkad. Listen, Israel. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. And he took that back to the Muslims who had a God for each day of the year. And he put the sword to their neck to get rid of every single God and obey this one God who he came up with named Allah. Before Muhammad, they worshipped a God for each day of the week. The Muslim, the Arabs, the moon and the star that they have as their symbol today, those are two gods. We call Ningal and Nana. The carpet that they bow down on, that's a god. The genie in the lamp, that's why you rub the genie, that's another god. They have gods for everything. They're heathens. The whole concept of one god comes from us. The Greeks had multiple gods. That's why they had the pantheon. Mount Olympus, where the gods live. Forget about Egypt. There's a god for every goddamn thing. We're the only people who have the concept of one God, because that's the true God. You get the point? So this here is what was written on that stone. Let me get some more. Right? Just go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Even today with their Christianity, they say it's three, a Trinity.
The Trinity. Even though they try to, fool you into believing that. All right. Give me this is cold right here. This is cold right here. All right. Give me this here.
Oh God.
Yeah, go ahead. Read nice and low. Go ahead.
So you want me to read the Hebrew?
Good login Friday. You read the Hebrew then.
Go ahead, sir. The authenticity of the New Mexican inscription is not verified by the use in its correct form of the sacred name Yahweh. Yahweh. Yahweh.
YH.
You want me to say the letters?
YHWH, what they call the tetragrammaton or something like that. That's what the scholars call it. Go ahead. And they put that because they didn't understand that those was symbols that we was writing. They add the vowels in later. This is historic fact. You could check it. That modern Jewish Yiddish language, they couldn't understand what we were writing without the vowel sound. So they added all the E's and, remember, Adawan is A, Da, Wa, and Na. So if you had to look at Adawan, write Adawan on that board there.
Okay. In the Hebrew?
Yeah, you might have to turn the camera, right, Bukwash? No. Hebrew, right to left.
I did.
Perfect. All right, come on this side. That's what you would see, right? The A, Da, Wa, and the Na. Now, if they were to, if a heathen, somebody who is not from our culture, somebody who only hear it, they hear the A, the Wa, they hear the A, the Da, Adawan. Write A, going that way, right to left. A, D, W, and N. That's how you get your tetragrammaton. And they'll add vowels to that so they could sound it out. And that's how you get Adoni, Adowani. And that's how they get Adoni and Elohim. When there's no U and A-E-I-O-U, it sounds Adawan. Tawada, Ayandaba. It's grunts. It's not that phonetic sound, right? Even babies, Q did a class some years ago. I'm going to look for the class where they did some studies in Yale or Princeton on language, brother. And even they say the baby language, how it's easy for, mothers always get angry. They say, it's easier for babies to say dada than mama. And they say it's because of what's in us with the Hebrew. Because at one time, Hebrew was the language of the earth, just like Latin. They say even these songs, gaga, baba, mama, dada, that babies make, is because of the language. That's our first language. You get the point? That's how they get that thing. So go ahead and read on that.
And Yahweh. Whoever made the inscription, however, and whatever date, was aware of the extreme sanctity of the name of the Creator. There have been expectations to the otherwise generally extinct of to
the otherwise
generally extinct. Let me stop.
Read it slower.
There have been exceptions to the otherwise general extinction of Paleo Hebrew.
There have been, say again, there have been what?
There have been exceptions to the otherwise general extinction of Paleo Hebrew.
There's a general extinction of the ancient Hebrew. You don't see it no more. And that's why when we get a video with the Back Creek stone, you realize why they had it in the basement. It's the language is not around anymore. The Lord gave it to the Israelite school of UPK. Give the Lord a hand for that, brother. That's biblical. It's biblical because the Lord said what? I would return you to your own heritage. You will learn my laws in a bastard tongue, but you're gonna go back to your own heritage. And He's giving it back to us. Keep going.
Okay.
So He's saying there's an exception, even though they don't use the ancient, ancient Hebrew. In the text that they found that there's exceptions even in the Syrian prints. Go ahead.
Okay. For hundreds of years after the Babylonian captivity, Jewish scribes realized this sanctity of the sacred name.
Right. Even after the Babylonian captivity, hundreds of years, which was the Syrian captivity. Even after that, they was using the Syrian Hebrew. And they're saying the scholars, when they would write the name of the Lord, they would put the ancient Hebrew and not the Syrian, as if to give him like a holy name, like saying, okay, this is the Lord's name. We ain't writing it in this bastard language. You ever notice? I know you gonna get a test soon, brother. But you brothers here, you all notice, you brothers online, you all notice when you're doing the UPK officers test, you could write the ancient Hebrew with no problem. That Syrian kick your ass every time. Every time you just done because it's spiritual. Jeremiah told me that, I remember years ago. He said, Mashak, this thing is spiritual. None of us like the Syrian Hebrew. That's the language in the captivity. It's like you in prison and you come up with a whole new language to talk among the prisoners. But that ain't how you talk outside. He said, none of us like that Syrian. He said, but that ancient, somehow brothers usually just get it. They love it because that's really our language. Mike.
So it's like when I was studying for the test, I was telling Officer Kazak this. I was looking over it. I seen the paleo. I was like, okay, I can kind of get this
ancient.
So like the ancient Hebrew.
Yeah,
like, I
can get from this. Here. Paleo. 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 Ancient. Actually, like Tobiah. Go ahead.
And when I saw the Assyrian, it looked like, brick, like the brick wall and the cement. That's how it looked like to me. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put that aside. Let me get to this first, and then just try and conquer that later. But it looked like just bricks on the wall.
And listen, I'll give you a plug. That's how you pass the test. You learn the ancient. The Assyrian gonna come after. But that ancient is more natural for us. Go ahead.
This section from the book of Habakkuk, shown on this page, written in modern Hebrew, wherever the sacred name appears, in order to emphasize the holiness with which the name was regarded, it is rendered in the ancient Hebrew, or more correctly, one would say pure Hebrew.
This is the pure tongue. That's why we call it the pure language, the holy tongue, because this is what they regard as the true Hebrew. Not that Syrian printed Hebrew, that Yiddish, that Adoni Elohim. That's bullshit. That's not Hebrew. That's Yiddish nonsense. Even though you're using the same symbols as the Assyrian, that's not actually real Hebrew, even with your pronunciation. Go ahead.
This sample is one of the fragments which, recovered at Qumran among the Dead Sea Scrolls, has given us much insight into the ancient mind.
Right. So they look. Let me just show this real quick. Cross cue of that video. All right. So this is one of the samples from the Qumran caves. This is how we know the King James version is accurate. because from the Masoteric texts that were found in them jars, them clay jars in the Qumran caves, that's the Dead Sea Scrolls then. Those books line up word for word, except I think the second book of Esther and something else. In one of the books of Daniel or something. They line up down there word for word with the Hebrew text found in the Qumran caves. And this Qumran caves, in this text, in the book of Habakkuk, it's written with the Syrian style, but right here where it have the Lord name, they slip back to the ancient style. You understand? And this was their way of giving honor to the Lord's name, because, you know, of course, it's the Lord. The Lord has a holy name, and it's there. Now I'm reading this. Why? To show that this is accurate. This is also, they found the 10 Commandments also, because it's part of the Bible. It's part of the record in the Qumran caves. And the 10 Commandments that was found on that mountain, Los Lunas? Is it Los Lunas?
Los Lunas in New Mexico.
All right, hold on. What happened?
Go back some. I mean, go back further. Go forward.
Go forward more? Hold on. Shit. You don't know. Right. So what? The Los Lunas, the tablets that was found there, written in the ancient Hebrew, is exactly what they found in those Qumran caves, which means the Israelites are the ones who was in New Mexico, not white people, and the native Indians and the so-called tribe of I.S.U.P.K, Mexicans, they the real Israelites. Now let's get some proof of how they got there. Give me what time we have? Damn. Real quick. Kazak, you there?
Kawaka, sir.
Give me 2nd Ezra 13 real quick. Ragash, I'm gonna let Kazak take it just a faster reader just for the time, all right? We're way past the time. Give me 2nd Ezra 13, start at verse 39.
Kawaka. 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him.
This is talking about Christ on the Mount Sinai. This is a vision that Esdras is having, and he's saying there was a multitude gathered to Christ. Go ahead. And he asks who was those people, and the angel is telling them who these people are. Go ahead.
Kanwakan, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king, who Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Right? So Salmanasar took us out of our land, right? Out of our land in the Slakia. Kill that for a second. Salmanasar took us out of our land into the Syrian captivity, which is where we developed that Syrian language. You understand that? The way of writing the Hebrew, the Syrian Hebrew. You understand? Also, for the brother who asked the question, I forget his name. Koralakam, about how the Sumerians, when the Northern Kingdom went into captivity in 2nd Kings, that's where the history of this is. Where the kingdom split, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern. The Northern Kingdom went into the Assyrian captivity before the Southern Kingdom got overtook by the Romans. That king took us out, took the 9.5, the northern tribes out of the land and put in their Hamites. And that's how the Hamites today think they're Sumerians. But the Sumerian, because Samaria was a major city in the Northern Kingdom. He took us out of the land and brought them in. And in the Bible, it tells you the animals of the land attacked the heathens. And then he went and brought back priests, but not Levite priests, priests of God and priests of Reuben and priest of Asher, meaning he made them priests to teach the people how to serve the Lord. And that's where you get your woman at the well who was from Samaria, who thought she was a Jew. You understand? Remember, she said, me and my fathers worship in these mountains. Christ said, you don't know what you worship because salvation is of the Jews. She thought she was a Jew because of what happened with the Syrian captivity, because they brought in Africans and taught them our culture. Just like how Kazak is saying how the Igbo and them, the Nigerians think they're us and Ghanaians. They're not us. And Christ had to cut her at the well. This is also the parable of the Good Samaritan. The Samaritan is the Samaritan. The good one is from the people who was brought back to teach the heathen. Because the Christian church would tell you the some good Samaritan is anybody, because the Samaritans are not Jews, because Christ taught the Samaritan woman at the well. But the parable of the good Samaritan is from that thing, from those who were brought back. You get the point? Go ahead, Kazak. So that's to answer the brother's question, all right? Go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude.
The 12 tribes, the 10 tribes, or the 9.5 tribes, which would be Ephraim and his fellows and part of Levi, took counsel amongst themselves into this captivity and said what? We would what?
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen, meaning they're going to break out of prison. They're going to break out of the captivity. They're going to leave the land. Because they're in slavery, not like chattel slavery, but they are subculture under the Syrians. Go ahead.
Kawakan, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
And they would leave the Assyrian captivity and go forth into another country where no man dwelt, which is the Americas. Go ahead.
Kawakan, that they might there keep their statutes.
And there in that land, they thought that they would keep the statutes. They would keep the commandments, because they knew that they fell into the hands of the Syrians because they disobeyed the Lord. That's what we knew. Go ahead.
Kawakan, which they never kept in their own land.
That's what we knew. We Israelites, we knew that if the Lord is against us, we know we're getting punished because we done broke his law. We done broke his law, so we getting punished. So they say we'll just leave and go when they should have stayed and served out their captivity. There's one thing you can't do is run from the Lord's judgment. That ain't gonna never happen. Go ahead.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow place.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow place. The narrow mouth entered into the Euphrates, which is a river, which is going to go all the way down. You could look at that map there. It's going to come out on the eastern side of Africa, right? That Euphrates River is going to empty into the eastern side of Africa. Go ahead.
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
Right? And the Most High showed signs for them. Meaning the Lord showed signs. How do you sail? What is the signs you look for to sail?
The stars.
You navigate with the stars, the constellations, the North Star and this star and that star, and you look for. That's how you sail. So the Lord showed signs. Go ahead.
And held still the flood till they were passed over.
And held still the flood, meaning he made that river passable. He made it in a way where it was passable to get into the water. Go ahead.
Kawakan. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and the same region is called Arsareth.
Right. So now to get to that new land where no man knew, it took them 1.5 years. Which is what? 18 months. 18 months that they would have had to sail down the east coast of Africa, come around the bottom, come up to the top into the Atlantic, and come up on the east side of America. You could Google it now, how long it would take if you had to sail from the east of Africa to the Americas. It will tell you around about 18 months. That's what they found in the book that Curtis was talking about, and here, that the Israelites had supreme naval power. They were able to navigate the earth and move. The Latino tribes are Israelites. They came by boat into what was called America. Today, back then it was called Arsareth. And this is a land, man never knew. This wasn't inhabited by man, which is why over here is where you find them giant bones from what they call dinosaurs mostly. You don't find them most in the east, but maybe on this side. You get the point? Now give me the Back Creek Stone. So I'm running it down so like it for the time, all right? Go ahead. So what is that?
No sweat, sir.
Let me get the Back Creek Stone. Play it nice and loud, all right?
Salaki, if it's playing, we can't hear it. So like it's I don't know if anybody else can hear, but there's no sound on my end.
Okay, Kazak, you saying you can't hear it?
Nah, lie, sir. No sound at all.
No song on this end as well, too, sir.
Could you close the tab that you have it open on? Close every other tab but the StreamYard. All right, quickly, Bukwad.
Try now.
Go ahead.
Still no sound, sir.
Still no sound?
Con,
No sound, sir.
What's going on? Is it there? There it now?
Nope, lie, sir.
All right. Matthew, could you pull up the video and just do a screen share quick? Because Matthew is the one who sent the video, right? I know, but he has it, right? Matthew, could you do it?
Come on. Let me pull it up, sir.
I might have to kill it for time, man. But you get the point. This is proof the native Indians are Israelites. They are black. They are our people. They are the same as us. The Africans are absolutely not us. They're not the same. They will never be the same. They never was the same. The Latino tribes are definitely Israelites. All right. You got it, Matthew?
Slacky, I'm pulling it up, sir.
So like if I may too, Cap.
Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that book covered it, but from what the research that I did, they said that Los Lunes stone is the oldest record of the 10 Commandments on the earth.
Yeah. Yep. It definitely is. You get the point? It definitely is, because the records from the Qumran caves was after the Syrian captivity.
Right.
You get the point? That would have been after the Syrian captivity. So that's why he's saying, this, if you could accept this, this would change the whole idea of how America was, started and founded. All right. Matthew, anything yet?
I got it. If you need me to pull it up.
If you don't mind.
Come on, sir. I'm sharing my screen now. It should be right here. You can see it.
You can pull it in, Bakwash?
It's up, sorry.
All right, let me know if you're all hearing, please. Skip the part with me talking. Just skip to go to Glenn.
In 1860,
right, so this is a tape of Glenn Beck proving.
This, by the way, is in inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here at first they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew.
Right? They thought in 1860 it was some sort of Hebrew. They didn't even know for sure, because, of course, they think the chicken scratch that the Jewish man uses and speaks Yiddish is real Hebrew, when that's not the real Hebrew.
Well, finally, about 20 years later,
the text of that Hebrew is called a Syrian Hebrew. The pronunciation, the language itself is really Yiddish. It's a mixture of German and Polish.
Found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew.
They call it a block Hebrew, and that's the ancient Hebrew that Abraham and Moses and them used. You understand? That's what they used to speak, right? And they found this in Ohio.
A block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the 10 Commandments.
In Ohio.
Now,
how the hell it get across from the Middle East to Ohio? The white man didn't bring that over. The native Indians did.
This is another piece. Block Hebrew. They said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone.
Right, the Bat Creek
It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee.
Right, they first thought this was the Cherokee language. And the Smithsonian had this stone there and they couldn't read it. So they had stuck it away. And you hear what he said. They found the stone in a Smithsonian.
They thought it was Cherokee.
Hold
on. The meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since evacuation. During the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation.
Official Smithsonian evacuation. Meaning this stone was part of their collection or part of their storage. And while evacuating the area, they took it out. Right? So they couldn't read it. Of course, like the white man always do, once he don't understand something, he hypothesizes about it and teach you that it's true when he just too dumb to figure it out. And they read it, they thought it was Cherokee.
The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
They had published this originally upside down.
They had the damn thing upside down. Meanwhile, the Israelite school at UPK, 1 West Harlem, New York, 1969, been teaching the original Hebrew. We could have read that thing for you, could have saved millions of dollars, could have give us the goddamn money. And these fools in the Smithsonian don't know what the hell they're talking about.
They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down.
Oh my gosh, it's upside down. Dummy. When if you had come to all these boots. This is the devil who talking is Glenn Beck. He had a show on Fox. This is some, he used to be a famous, politician and that type of thing. And he brought it out how they've been had the thing and couldn't read it because it's considered by the earth an extinct language. They don't know about it. The Israelite school at UPK knows about it and has it and teaches it for what it is and have always maintained that this is the pure Hebrew. This is the ancient Hebrew. This is the true Hebrew, like this other anthropologist found in this book right here. And we know it. It came to the Americas because the native Indians are black people too. The Latino tribes are also black people too. They are also not the the Negroes who Ham is not the father of. There are also those Negroes who, are not African. We the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. So like here on time, I just wanted to get that in for you. With that, I pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shapat. Just for the time. And y'all could go ahead and move. Let's forego those announcements. All right. Go ahead. I Madium.
I might give a courtesy salute to the teacher, man of Israel. Mal Shabbat. Saw, which means the third. Since you may stand, I might gonna give a courtesy salute to the sister, men of Israel. Mal Shabbat. I might. Correct.
Welcome to Atlanta. Christ, this Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's gonna have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King have honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King YAHANNA, we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shalom.